All right.
All right. Well, it's been forever. Like, let's see. Like, what, 3 years since you popped onto the scene? Or did you start making content in 2016, Jordan?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I mean, I made content for a year and I've been off for a year, so 2 years.
Okay, 2 years. And
Yeah,
so you popped up in 2018?
I think so. Yeah,
Because,
that would make sense because I started playing Magic in 2017 and then I started making videos around like 8 months in. So yeah. Yeah.
okay. Damn, I thought it was 3 years, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought so too.
It's
Because,
like getting really close.
yeah, I swear I thought the video that you made where you did all the shout outs was in 2017, but I could be wrong. But
Now I'm gonna check.
yeah, no,
Oh, yeah, keep talking. I'm
We're
archiving.
gonna
it's
find
all
it. We're gonna
good.
find this evidence,
But
everyone.
But to everyone who's watching and doesn't understand what the fuck's going on, hello, welcome to the Multiverse Podcast episode 2, featuring
History
myself,
Hoovers
Tasty,
episode 2.
featuring myself,
Also, I
Tasty
checked.
Snackies, and our other co-hosts, Kevin from Rogue Deckbuilder,
Howdy.
Coach from
I'm
Card
supposed
Bazaar.
to say. I'm supposed to say howdy. I'm the Texas man.
That's true.
Took my.
Not
You
much
took.
of a Utah thing, to be honest.
I could say I'm not Mormon, so that would be. But wait. No, you know what? Just move on. Just move on with the episode. You've already taken my line. God.
And who is this fellow mushmouth?
Is that me?
No,
No.
the gentleman in the blue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm Coach from the Car Bazaar, who has been on a hiatus for not. Well, I wouldn't say hiatus anymore. It's a permanent ban from 10th Street Hooligans after it got disbanded. So there's
You,
that.
you didn't get banned. The band broke up. So if anything, you all just got laid off at the same time.
I was laid off, sir. Get that right.
And then also our guest for the evening, Sickly.
Hello. I didn't get fired. I quit.
It's better than when I went through. So
Yeah.
Hey,
Also, I
how's
made
it?
my first video 2 years ago. Get fucked. I know
Oh
my
man.
history.
Okay. I guess I'm just getting ignorant with my old age then.
dude, we're all getting up there. It's sad. I'm gonna hit 30 in like 2 months. I'm gonna cry.
You're worried about that, Coach? Jeez.
Yes. I don't even worry about getting fired from my actual job. I worried about getting old and starting to get arthritis and lose my hearing and all that. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm worried about like, not having anybody or like any family when I get like 50 or 60 or 70 and I can't take care of myself and I got to like be put in a home or something. Fuck that. That's what I'm afraid of. But
I'm
other
worried
than
about my
that,
cat dying.
I worry about that
that's
too.
a solid fear. I
She's
got
a
a
big girl.
I got a kitten. We found a kitten in late 2017. My dad found it on the side of the road, and its eye was all fucked up. It's still fucked up. It's like half blind. But I love that guy. I was like with him from day one. And like the day he dies, my heart's just gonna break in half. I know. And
Yeah,
Kevin,
same with
you
same
as
with my
much shit
cat.
as you talk about Chloe, you're
Oh,
gonna.
I might bury my cat last October.
Aw, that's a
Yeah,
It's a peppy
shame.
start.
she was old, though. She was old.
How old?
19, 20.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I forget cats can live that long.
Yeah.
My dad's cat is like reaching 12 or 13 and he's really starting to show his age. Like he's fat too, so it's like all that age and all that weight and he's just like like walking around like a zombie. It's kind of sad.
She died in good health, I would say. Like, she probably had a heart attack, but I mean, I didn't have to watch her like uh slowly decline. I don't know if that's
Suffer.
better or worse. So it was good. Yeah, I mean, that just sounds bad saying it, but it was good timing. For,
Yeah.
yeah, because she was starting to have health problems. She got hit by a car, so
Aw.
when she was a kitten, so
Mm.
that
Poor
was
thing.
finally catching up with her, where she wasn't able to retract her claws and walk very well. So
Well,
Wow.
apart from the depressing stuff that I do so like to divulge
Yeah,
in,
this is a sad start. Like Jordan
Yeah.
was saying.
very
I'm depressed
morose.
now.
Yeah.
I apologize to you in the audience, but Sickly, what were you known for?
I was known for being kind of like the first female YouTuber in the Magic community, as much as I hate that.
The first?
Like, for the first that, like, kind of...
The first legit.
Like, the first one,
Yeah.
I'd say the first one that, like, really, like,
Took
kind of
off.
blew up and took off, yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm known for my sick memes and the fact that I can't stop talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, you do retweet that a lot on Twitter.
It's so good.
From
So
what I
fucked up.
understand.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's an
It's
anime.
so bizarre. It's so good.
It's very rich
Right now
in
they're
memes.
going after David Bowie from, like, killing a bunch of people, from cutting off all these women's hands. It's a great show.
Wait, like David Bowie's a villain?
Yeah. Like, Yoshikage Kira is, like, full on based off of David Bowie, and it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So I'm thinking this is a Crunchyroll thing.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, because you were, I guess you tweeted it yesterday as, oh, I need like Crunchyroll and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah, my friend was like, here's my fucking login. Like, stop being a whiny baby. Good.
Isn't that
oh
where...
yeah, because the password changed, didn't it?
Okay, I've been mooching off of this girl that I used to work with in middle school, and I'm 24 now. I've been mooching off of this girl for 10 years, and she finally, like, wised up on it because I changed cities. I'm so pissed.
I'm the one that has all the accounts except for Crunchyroll, so like everyone like mooches off me. So I'm paying like $60 a month for like all this stuff and
Yeah.
what's your password and all this crap.
See, if I mooch off of someone, if I'm still in contact with them, I'll, like, buy them something that is the equivalent of my share. So a guy, he's got, like, the Spotify family plan, and I buy him, like, a Cali style Starbucks drink because that's his favorite thing in the world. Like,
Nice.
once a year, as a thank you for the 40 cents extra that he has to pay a month. So if you're
That's
gonna
awesome.
mooch, you have to be nice about it, unless the person's an asshole, and then you just take.
The
It's the
only
law.
the only one that I'm still mooching off of, well, because I usually just watch YouTube or sometimes Twitch is my entertainment, but
Mhm.
I do still have access to my ex's Disney Plus account, which is sweet because
Ooh.
because I really want to get into watching the Clone Wars now that it's finished all the way through.
I kind of do too.
Because I
a lot
hate
of
watching
episodes.
TV shows that aren't complete. Like I waited till Breaking Bad was done, and I waited till it was on DVD, and then I bought it all on DVD. But I want to do
Yeah,
that
that's
with
fair.
Clone Wars. But I hope my ex doesn't wise up and remove my access from it. But other than that, I don't
Godspeed.
really watch TV or anything like that. Half of it can't even. It's just all garbage to me, in my opinion. I do like certain animes, that's for sure. I'm starting to watch more. Like I just watched, what is it? Ninja Scroll on Saturday. That one, it's very gory. 10 out of 10 action.
First three seasons of JoJo are on Netflix. The first season is only 9 episodes.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
I don't speak weeb, sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Dude, the latest
You're
thing
the weeb destroyer, Kevin. For
So, like,
someone
so
that
I'm-
hosts
True.
all of them in your shop.
So I don't know if y'all have watched this, but I've watched the Castlevania series on Netflix, all 3 seasons. Dude, it is phenomenal. Like I love the games, and that TV show is like spot on. Like I like it.
I've heard a lot
If you like
about it.
Castlevania, you'll like season 1 of JoJo.
Let me put it down if it's on Netflix.
It's 9 episodes. It'll take 2 hours of your time.
Watch JoJo.
Wait, how short are the episodes? Is it like 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I'll get
Yeah.
that done before lunch because
Yeah.
apparently I can. This is what I was telling my wife was that I put all my PowerPoints and stuff up, and I'm going back and forth like emails and all that stuff. But I'll have like there's a second screen over here. I'll watch like YouTube, Netflix,
Yep.
or whatever. So I'll probably do that while I'm actually working because I could do that. We're in the middle of a pandemic and I can't go into the actual physical building of the school. So there's that.
Exactly.
So I'm multitasking, and she hates that. She hates that I could watch shows while working. So it's great.
I would do that in my office when I was doing my internship. It was fantastic. I watched all of Marble Hornets over like a week.
Oh, that's
As-
great. I found that back in like 2011, like right before or right around when Slenderman started like popping up, and my ex or the girlfriend I had at the time showed me it. And I was just like, that shit like genuinely creeped me out, and I was just like deep dived into it. I love Marvel.
It holds
horror.
up.
It does.
It's so good.
Man, there's a lot of creative horror stuff on YouTube. Like, one of them is it helps. Who's the director of Shazam? I can't remember his name, but
Oh yeah. Oh, all of his short stories
yeah, like
that he does. Yeah, they're good.
yeah, he started on YouTube. He made like YouTube horror short that like kind of turned into its own movie. David Sandberg. Now that I think about it, I think that's his name. And
Yeah, I watched his like shadow video like yesterday.
oh yeah,
He made it during quarantine. It's really good.
I gotta see that. I haven't seen it.
Mhm.
Is it a spooky one?
Yeah, spooky. Ooky spooky.
Spoopy.
It's like 2 minutes.
So
The behind the scenes video is like 20 minutes.
So I've seen you tweet on Twitter before, and I assume that it's loosely tied with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I need you to explain to us himbo and himbo culture.
I'm just so happy.
Okay.
Like every time I explain what a himbo is, a little part of me just grows inside. So, I assume the three of you gentlemen and those lovely viewers at home know what a bimbo is. Dumb girl, big boobs. She's like nice, but she's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's same thing. A dumb guy, really nice, really stupid, big boobs. Like
Just big
Usually
chest
it's like-
and just.
yeah, it's like the really like meaty guys who I'm trying to think of like a non-anime reference of a himbo, which is really difficult because the himbo
Like, what about like
mostly lives in
Guidos?
anime.
Like from like Jersey Shore, like those guys.
No, Guidos aren't nice enough to be himbos.
Okay.
Because it's the trifecta of nice, ripped, stupid. Like it's literally just if you gender bend a bimbo. Like just someone who they just mean so well, but they're stupid. Like if you imagined if a golden retriever was a person, that's a himbo.
Like doing
that.
like doing fetching
Evan feels
everything.
personally attacked.
Yeah.
Well, you're like what? Like 1/8 golden retriever?
Oh, Chloe, I'm sorry.
Man. Okay.
Well, okay, so the perfect explanation as well. I was sitting with my best friend Calvin. He and I were talking, and he went, you know, I don't know if there's a female equivalent of a himbo. Maybe a herbo. And then he and I looked at each other, and I went, bimbo? And he just looked at me and went, bimbo.
Bimbo.
Yeah.
Like,
That is something a himbo would do.
It's a new word that just pops up
That's fucking
It's
great.
so good.
for some people.
Kevin, would you
Like-
consider yourself a himbo during your days when you were? Because I've seen your old college pictures. You were ripped.
College? That's way past college, buddy.
Oh,
You're like a
was
decade
it?
Off.
Oh, how old are you? Like
I'm way old.
83?
You guys are young. What's that?
83? How old are you?
83 is about right.
Okay. I've seen proof. Like there's the one where you're doing like this pose with your face. That's probably my
Hey,
favorite one.
don't be giving away any free content. My OnlyFans is coming up.
Oh, okay, perfect example. AC Slater from Saved by the Bell. Prime himbo. I pulled up a list of himbos.
Okay.
Slater was the smart one in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, but his boobs, they're so big.
That's my favorite YouTube series right there. Zach, what is it? Zach, what's
Those
Zach
like
Morris.
weird
Zach
edits.
Morris is
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Wait,
Look
what?
that up. Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah.
You kids are too young to remember Saved by the Bell, though. So
I love Saved by the Bell.
I've never
I've-
seen it.
I've seen.
see, Zach doesn't even remember it. He's not that much younger than I am.
I remember it used to come on super early, and I was always an early bird, so I would watch Saved by the Bell every now and then. But I guess I was so young and I didn't like I guess pick up on like the plot lines and all that stuff for the episodes. But I remember Saved by the Bell like very vaguely.
I never...
Okay, this one might hit more. Oh, here, you go first.
No. Continue.
I was gonna say Kelso from That 70s Show is a himbo.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
a prime example.
Like, he means well. He's just really dumb.
Do you know him and Mila Kunis are married?
Okay, I bawled my eyes out the day that I found that out.
Really?
I was so happy.
9 to 1993 was Saved by the Bell.
Damn,
So good.
really?
So that would have been young teens for me.
I was
Teens
not
for
born
you?
yet.
Well, the very
I was just
end
a
of it.
baby.
No. Never mind. I'm not even a teen yet. Never mind. So I was still, but it was still. So
Yeah,
it's the
you're not
prime
that
teen
much older than me.
Watching.
You're only
I'm
like...
way older.
You're like 5 or 6 years older than me, because I'm 29.
Yeah, I'm 29 too.
What are you, 35,
baby.
36?
Keep going.
38?
Nah, not quite 38 yet.
Okay,
Tidal
okay.
waves.
How old are you, Jordan?
I'm 24.
Nice.
I remember
I'm a
those
fetus.
You still
I am
have
a
plenty of time. Take advantage
Freshly
of it.
hatched. Yeah.
I don't age though.
Hell yeah.
days. He's a vampire.
And if you do, it's like a fine wine. Chef's kiss.
Prime aging material over here. I think it's all the cardboard in the air. It just preserves
It's all the
skin.
himbo energy.
Yeah.
God, I hope I age well, but I'm always in the sun during like the season and stuff. I'm gonna get all wrinkly by the time I'm like 50. It's gonna be bad.
I'm embracing it. I already told everyone if I start showing signs of male pattern baldness, I'm shaving immediately. I'm fucking committing
I
to
think
it.
that's what
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
lying to
do.
myself.
I think that's what I'm gonna do, dude. I've had this widow's peak since I was like 18. It's bad, so I have to like try to
Too.
grow my hair out, dude. Like in my football pictures, like when we all shaved for the senior class, and it's like all the way back here. It's ugly. I hate those pictures.
You gotta embrace it, man. Like
I
learned
dude,
early on as a teenager that like my best hairstyle is the nerdy ass Peter Parker hairstyle. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, whatever. I guess I'm just gonna have to wear that. Either that or hats all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, dude. Even when I'm outside, I don't wear hats. I just like go out there, which is probably a bad idea anyway. But I just don't like hats. Like I don't know why.
I can't stand them either. No
So,
hats
but
with me.
I'm probably gonna get skin cancer by like 35 or something. So 'cause I'm freaking stupid.
Not me. I stay inside all the time. I'm a fucking loser, dude. I just play video
Oh yeah, that
games.
basement tan.
Dude,
So
these coon eyes. If you were to see it up close, good lord, that's like from the sun guys. That's been there for like 7 years. Ever since I started coaching at TM, it's been like, it's bad. Like everything here is white, and then everything's
Well,
like.
luckily the lighting in your place is very generous to you because it doesn't show up. Everything has a very orange tint to it.
It's right now. I only have this lamp that my wife gave me like yesterday, and it's like the best lamp ever. If I were to like turn this on, yeah, we're not
Horror
doing
show
that.
would start.
Yes, absolutely. Like we are not going through that phase today. At least not
Speaking
today.
of horror shows, why did you stop making magic content?
Well, so originally, and I mean, it's a video that I've privated since. Sickly was like MTG Sickly was only supposed to go on for a year.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a year-long project to document like my first year properly playing Magic. So then I personally could look back and be like, wow, I fucking sucked. I didn't know how to say the word viscera. That's stupid. You're a himbo. Like, but it started to get to a point where I kind of expected to get maybe 4 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got more than I was expecting to, and people get really demanding. And I was working 3 jobs and going to school, and I had like a 2.0 GPA or something like that because I was just trying to do too much because I was focusing on school, and I was just like, what if I just didn't? What if I took a mental health break, and then it turned into a year later?
Well, you did the smart thing, man. Fucking
Yeah.
I personally made the mistake where I just worked myself to the bone, and then I just kind of fucking hated it because I worked myself too much into it because I had nothing else going on but making magic content, and I kept my ear too low to the ground to the drama, and I just got too involved in it. I still bitch and complain about it to this day, but yeah, man, fucking the audience is kind of rough and demanding, especially someone like you who kind of like blew up and you're like different from like the other female content creators, which is why I feel like you blew up, is because you just presented yourself more casually. Like that's kind of the key to YouTube, is just like if you have a personality that people can just like easily watch and not think like, oh god, this person is boring or fake, like usually you're gonna find some success. And fucking simps be simping, man. They're like, yo, make some content.
Well, and that's the worst thing. So part of the thing that like pisses me off so much is on Instagram. It's specifically Instagram, which my Instagram is almost exclusively cosplay at this point, because that's been my thing since like high school. I like, people will DM me and be like, yo, where's the content? Not, oh, hey, I've noticed yet. Like, they're not polite about it. And then my favorite was like, one dude was like, I made a thing just being like, hey, like on my bio, I was like, hey, can you please stop asking me when the content's coming? Because it's not. And then one dude like was like, oh fuck, I could find the screenshots. He's like, you're such a cunt. Like, you're like,
oh my,
you're taking these like 6,000 subscribers that you have and taking them for granted. And then he posted a screenshot of the DM and then like made an Instagram post trying to like shut me down. Well, no, and he's like, I can't believe she's so entitled. Hashtag Suckly MTG. Hashtag like all of this stuff. And he tagged like modern, and I'm like, I have one modern deck that I don't play because I don't like modern. I'm a commander player. He tagged like standard, he tagged pioneer, he tagged like all of like the formats that I don't play. He didn't tag commander.
Fantastic.
And just like all of this stuff just being like, and then I looked at his account because I just like, I reported him for being a bitch. And he has like 100 subscribers, and he's just like, it's really bland, like deck tech videos, for lack of, like, to be honest, like he makes good decks. The decks are good. It's just the videos are a little bit bland, and he didn't get the traction. And unfortunately, I got the traction because girl in male-dominated community. Wow, haha, wow, woman, wow.
You get banned if you say that.
Whatever. Cancel me. At this point, like, 2 of my best friends are like sex workers, so like people have been dropping following me from like so far at this point. So at this point I don't care.
Yeah, what's up with the drama with that particular OnlyFans MTG that like Lee followed and all these other high profile?
Wait, what?
Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, I don't follow magic shit anymore at all.
You're gonna have to keep me up to speed on this.
I find out. I'll do some Twitter digging here. But she started an OnlyFans, does a lot of lewd, like MTG related content.
Wait, is it that one Twitter account where it's like the chick with the black hair? It's kind of like swooped to the side. She's got big fat lips. Is that the one that you're talking about?
Maybe, but I know her big drama was she posted on she had a little bit of a tiff with another female. I'll put quotes for that because I'm not sure. Twitter person, and then I can't remember what happened. She got banned on the subreddit MTG or something, or someone quit sharing her stuff, and it caused I think did she get in a fight with Athena? Is that who it was?
Oh, Elantris, fucking Ephro's wife.
I know you don't know what to talk about. Twitter world. But anyway, so she posted on Free Magic, Reddit/Free Magic, and then that was her naughty moment.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm so out of the loop at this point.
Well, Free Magic is you can't.
Oh, I know that.
Free Magic's the worst place in the universe.
Yeah. They liked me, which is cool.
I like how even Magic the Circle Jerking talks shit on Free Magic. It's just like, that's the one that everybody dislikes. But to be honest, that's the one I like. I usually go to that one more often. I know
the mods pretty well. The mods, like, one of the founding guy, he doesn't like the direction that it's gone. But I mean, that was the whole point. The whole point to free magic was free magic. So
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
gonna, you know,
Shit posters be shit
wow,
posting,
or-
man.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of it gets trolled anyway. Like half the posts that are really raunchy or really bad, they're people trying to make it look bad. Trying to, you know,
When I saw the stuff you posted and you sent me on Discord, Kevin, I was just with the Code Mage stuff. That was just that whole week was like crappy for me, and then you like sent me that stuff, and that like totally made my day. I was like, oh my god, there's literally like 80 comments just talking crap about Code Mage. It was fantastic.
Code Mage.
Code Mage is
guy-
one of the he's the more
He was the one that banned me.
moderator for Magic TCG.
Oh, okay.
So
He was the one that put the ban hammer on my
he's a
post.
librarian.
Oh god, when I put
That's
that comment on there, people are like, oh, everyone back up, we got a librarian here, and everyone was like, what's with the librarian reference? But in the message we were going back and forth with, he was talking about like the legal guidelines and all this. I was like, oh, I'm a librarian, like I have experience with this, and I'm just like, you don't say that, like I like now if you were like like I would have been more believable. Oh, I'm like a first or second year law student, like this kind of doesn't make sense, you know, like that's more believable. Or you know, like even a paralegal would be like something like of that nature. But like a librarian, that just like, oh, I'm a librarian for 15 years, I know trademark and copyright law, and it just like blew my mind when that person said that. I have the messages somewhere. I gotta look for them. We could probably.
That
after
was
the
like
show,
some of the most like snide shit ever. Just that
like,
back and forth.
People were
between
going
them.
and people were going off the thing that Kevin was showing me. People were going off on this guy about, and like a third of them were like the librarian comment. It was great. Like he actually said that I'm a librarian. I like for 15 years I know copyright law. Why would you say that? Yeah, that's what we were working with, and that's who banned me. Now, if he would have said, like, if Code Mage would have said, I don't think this is, you know, appropriate, or if like I'm not really sure about this, so just to keep our butts safe.
He just didn't like being
like,
proven wrong or anything like that.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a big power hungry person.
Yeah,
And that's the
like I would have not.
moderator. Come
Well,
on.
I would have not pursued this had he been like, okay, I don't know enough about this, and I want to kind of protect us. Like we're gonna take it down. I would have been completely cool with that. I would have honestly been cool with that. It's like, okay, then I don't need to really explain myself. But he did that instead, and oh,
Yeah.
I
Fuck
just
him.
lost all.
Yeah,
I
he's
just lost
rubbed
all.
everyone the wrong way. I mean, most of the people that are on free magic have been banned from Magic subreddit for stupid things. So
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for, because we were going back and forth on like the cease and desist. I'm still waiting for the cease and desist on the 3 audiobooks I had, which I don't think they're gonna actually do that. It's like the books are 25 years old.
No.
Even the people who are personally messaging
They
me
would
is like,
be idiotic not to, because that's free advertising, man.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
you're...
Also, Wizards doesn't care about lore anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no, they don't.
Yeah, obviously.
Let's call a
But-
spade a spade.
Ever,
I think, like,
ever since
Kevin-
Kaladesh has just fucking shit the bed, and they just...
Kaladesh. Just go way before that.
Yeah, I mean, Shadows sucked. What was before
Let's
Shadows?
be honest though, it was never good.
Battle-
It was never good. Coach.
Battle
it was
sucked.
never good.
oh, the
No, you won't get
I'm,
me.
I liked Urza Saga, or I liked the Brothers War
Yeah, but it's
Saga.
still, it was. I guess it might be okay for like a card game, but comparatively to the other stuff that was going out at the time, I wouldn't say it was good writing.
well, I've always liked
Contextually,
like, the older-
it's fine.
I've
Yeah,
liked the older
it's fine.
stuff because it's like I think it was just more consistent overall. Like Jeff Grubb, out of the other authors that I've read, like Jeff Grubb's very consistent, and he like the way he writes it and the way he like describes situations makes it easy for me, because like I don't read books at all that much, and then I started reading Magic, like Jeff Grubb stuff. And I was just like, okay, this makes sense. Like this is, we all know what he's talking about. There's really nothing to like argue about here. And
Did they bring on Brandon Sanderson?
he
to
was
write?
Was that the guy who did the Davriel story?
yes.
So
He w-
they realized that he's a Mormon, right?
Oh, is he?
I did not know that.
How's Watson gonna be able to compartmentalize this?
That's problematic.
I was waiting for the Trace Nielsen's problematic.
Oh, fuck. I have so many opinions about that.
Ooh,
Oh, share.
yes.
Share.
Because I'm very curious.
Please.
We're all
So-
curious, by the way.
Yeah,
Finish the other
so
story before we get into
Yeah.
that, because I cut you off with the sex worker stuff.
yeah.
Yes, please continue.
Oh shit. What was I saying? God, I have a fucking goldfish brain. I totally forget,
Ooh,
honestly.
All right.
You were
Therese,
talking
right?
about getting unfollows and this your friends.
Oh
like,
yeah.
unfollow
Oh yeah. People are just like, every time I'm like, hey, I don't do magic content anymore, they unfollow, which is reasonable because if you're coming for the magic content, and I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. Like, leave. Like, that's fine. But like the sheer amount of DMs just being like, you're so like full of yourself, da 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 da, and I'm like, do you have? I will shit on myself in any opportunity. Like, please.
It
Like-
reminds me of the guys who are like hitting on women and trying to get nudes, and they don't give them nudes, and they're like, "Fucking bitch."
My favorite is a dude DM'd me and he was like, you should make an OnlyFans. And I was like, no offense. Like, if I want to disappoint multiple people, I'll go to dinner with my parents. Like, like, so he was like, he was
Shots
just
fired.
really, yeah, he was really trying to push it. And so my friend Bree, poisonous everywhere. Bree is a fantastic cosplayer, seamstress, all that stuff. But Bree also has an OnlyFans, and I've seen that person's unmentionables so many times. Jesus Christ. But I just kept being like, yeah, you should follow my friend's OnlyFans. If you're looking, like, are you looking to fulfill a need? Like, I can't help you, but I can provide you with some stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm a manager of like all of these girls and like da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, he's trying to like
No.
get me into this
Oh, gross.
and then like
Let's-
take a
let's not.
cut.
like,
And then I was like,
a digital
I was like,
pimp almost.
yeah. And then so I was like, so I do some like administrative work for Bree. And I was like, I messaged Bree. I was like, hey, can I pretend to be your manager? And Bree's like, fuck it up, baby girl. You got this. So I was like, Bree's in actually like the 2% of all of the OnlyFans creators, actually. And he's like, oh, yeah, cool. And then he stopped DMing me.
Oh, sick.
Because I was like,
Funny.
yeah, I know how this works. Like, I know how to run a successful business. Stop. It was great.
I think.
But yeah, like,
No, sorry.
oh, yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, like, it's been more of like people being like, people always assume being a female in a male driven community that you'll get creeps. And I was very lucky that I really didn't. Like I had,
You just got a lot of entitled assholes.
How come
Yeah,
I got
and
all
that's
the
the thing.
creeps then?
yeah, people are just like hitting on you for those sweet moves.
Did you get any
But-
like particularly creepy messages or anything like that?
No,
Really?
like I have had one person sliding in to be like, hey baby, what's up? And he was like, I was wondering if you're in a relationship. And I was like, I am. And he's like, all right, have a nice day. Like,
Most respectful slide in
Yeah.
ever.
I was like, I appreciate it, but I'm accounted for. And then he messaged me 3 months later and he's like, are you still dating him?
I'm trying
Had
to
you in
remember-
his black book. He was waiting. He still probably
Yeah.
got you in there. He's waiting.
Probably.
So when JJ did the Magic Content Creator Awards, I remember getting a hold of Jordan,
Yeah.
and I think when I messaged you, Jordan, I was actually coming home from a track meet or whatever, and so like I messaged you. I was in the middle of messaging you, like, and I was just assuming like, oh, congratulations on. I think it was like the Medium Content Creator Awards. I was about to congratulate
win.
her because, okay, Jordan has to get this. Like, it's just, this is easy. Like, we're both in the same category. So I was sending the congratulatory, like, DM, and all of a sudden, like, I finally get home and I'm listening to it, and it was Bad Wolf, MTG. And so when I was in the middle of the message, the last bit, I was like, well, I guess neither of us won. I was like, that was kind of weird. I was like, man, Jordan's gonna get this like easily, and nope. To our surprise, or at least to my surprise, like, oh, we got blindsided.
Funny
So,
enough, I thought it was you that would win.
ha, yeah, not.
I think
Especially
because
not
like
now.
yeah, I think neither of us really like shilled it very hard. And like Bad Wolf makes good stuff. Like I'm not dissing her at all. Like I'm happy
No,
that
like,
she
Bad Wolf
won.
still exists.
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
watch
She was
Magic
part
content
of
anymore.
Siben's channel for a while, wasn't
Yeah.
Bad
she?
Wolf has existed since I've
She's been around for like
years
yeah,
and
like
years and years and years. That's old. That's like, yeah, that's as old as it gets.
I've talked to her. I think a couple times maybe, and she was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was sweet.
But I was for sure like, okay, Jordan with all the momentum that's going up in her videos, it's like, oh, she's easily gonna win this. So
She was the cause of the original drama.
was it?
really.
Yep.
Oh, I want to hear this. I don't. Please.
Okay, so the big, okay, not original, second big crap storm in the YouTuber community.
Sprinklegate?
No,
Or we-
Darium's wanted to do a convention. Darium's doesn't exist anymore. Probably don't even know the name.
I know who he
Oh,
is.
Darium? Yes. I
He's
actually
the
do
profit or
because-
loss guy, right?
Yes.
Was-
And he wanted
was
to do a
he-
convention. He owned a store in Ohio, and Bad Wolf had purchased tickets to fly there.
Mm-hmm.
But then Darium's invited Jeremy, who was already hated clear back then, and that's what caused that's what caused Wedge to pull out, and then Wedge to try to commit suicide, and then that whole crap. So yeah.
he's been the villain since season 1.
who Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even for me, even before that, because that was one of the very first rifts was me and Jeremy. That was one of the first big fights.
Is that the season 0
That was, like,
conflict, or is that season
pre-Wedge,
1?
Pre-Tulare Community College. That's before they even started doing. So that
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
the people who used to make content back then don't even exist anymore.
yeah, that's what I noticed when I went, because I'm in that Facebook group where like a lot of that drama kind of stems from, and I was just surfing through like old posts from like 2013, and I saw like MTG Missouri making like a post tagging like a bunch of content creators, and I was clicking through all the links, and like more than half of the links are just dead channels that don't even have content,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
if
I
they
mean,
do, they're just
understandable.
hidden videos.
People move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess the TLDR is Jeremy and I hated each other. Pretty. The story with that is he ratted on our. We were part of the same scam. Back when monetization was hard on YouTube, you had to get a network, is what it was called, and so we were both part of the same network.
NCNs.
Yeah. And they wanted us to collaborate, and Jeremy's like, I'm not collaborating with someone that's, a tenth of my size. Because he was mad that Star City Games and Channel Fireball were excluded. They didn't need to collaborate because it was like contractual that we had to collaborate. They wanted us to all. And so he was salty and posted this big message how he's not going to do it. He doesn't care. He's not going to do it. And it kind of killed the network as far as people actually. I think our talent agent or whatever they wanted to call it, he kind of just bowed out like, okay, this group's not worth my time, so I'll go focus on some other group that actually wants to go ahead with the plan. And so then Lion, does Lion still exist?
Oh yeah,
I want to say
I checked his
so-
channel like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's still making content.
Lion reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to collaborate. I'm like, sure, yeah, that's fine with me. I'll collaborate with anyone. And then he's like, let's get Jeremy on. I'm like, well, I don't think so. I don't think Jeremy's willing to collaborate. And he's like, no, we're buddies. Well, he'll collaborate. I'm like, you sure? So I showed him the email. And so apparently Lion then forwarded the email on to Jeremy, and Jeremy lost his crap and about how this was a breach of like contract, and it was illegal for me to share private messages and blah, blah, blah. And
Wow.
the stupid network like threatened me with legal action.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm not making any money on YouTube. I don't even know why. I like for the pennies that I'm doing, like I'm out. I'm done. I'm not going to deal with this crap. And so that was so I bowed out completely with over Jeremy. And then when the Darium's thing happened, well, then I was invited to this Facebook group. It was called Big MTG YouTubers, back when we all had thousands of subscribers. And
Big money.
so they invited me to it, and there was Tony College and Wedge. I didn't really know them, didn't really know Darren's, but we all started talking, and I noticed they invited Jeremy, and everything was kind of hunky dory for a while until they eventually started fighting. I can't remember what they started fighting over, and it took a riff, and then like it literally split it into like basically two communities. And during the whole scuffle, though, is Jeremy was like, "You guys are all too pussy to even stand up to me. You guys are all like he was like trying to bait him into like fighting with him." And I'm like, "I'll bite. I'm not a, I." And so I just laid into him and said and let him have my 2 cents about stuff. And that's where Clarendon Community College and Wedge ended up becoming my little best buddies, because I was the guy that stood up for, stood up to the big bad evil person and stuff. And then that's when we really started getting close. And then as far as collaborating together, like Darium's, we all did a bunch of like crossover videos. And then this convention was coming up, and we were all planning on going to the convention. Darium's was trying to get it funded too, so that people wouldn't have to pay for plane tickets and stuff. But there will be this convention at his store. And then he made that business decision to add Jeremy to the community, or to the convention, and that just set Wedge off the edge. And then Darium's recorded it, and the stuff that was recorded was less than let's just put it, it's very embarrassing for Wedge, incredibly embarrassing. It's kind of the baby fit that he was having. And so then a guy named Lengthy Zemet, who is now is about as social justice warrior as they come, which is funny because he flipped. He's a grifter.
I think I've
seen on top.
I think I've seen a video of this.
His name's Jeremy as well. He owns a local game store in Missouri. He's a piece of garbage. He's about as garbage as they come in the MG community. He's pretty high up in the MG finance community. Zemet is he's a piece of work. So
is this the one where that video was put around like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, he published in it. He's a grifter. He's the definition of a grifter. So
he spilled the beans unfairly on so many people in that was.
Yeah, he's an opportunist. He's whatever sociopathic tendencies are there, or he's always trying to make a name for himself and whatever group, because he's really in with like the Sam group now. I think that's what kind of caused a little bit of rift between Sam and I haven't talked to Sam in years. And that's a guy I was really close with. And anyway, where was I going with this? So
Bad Wolf and the Darium's.
So she canceled her plane ticket, and then that's what Darium's just laid into Wedge, and then recorded the phone call and blah blah blah. And so I don't know where I was going with this, but I did a whole drama video with it, because then I was.
So her part was her canceling the plane ticket, and that kind of that set it off.
Yeah, that set it off, is that she decided that since Darium's invited, apparently there were some DMs that Wedge told her to cancel her plane ticket because it was over. So she hurried and canceled it on Wedge's behalf. And so Darium's was pissed at Wedge, because then Darium's felt like that Wedge just lost him a ton of money, and threw his dreams down the can, and then it just turned into a lot of nonsense from them. And then I was an idiot and decided to white knight someone that did not deserve to be white knighted, and then go down that train wreck of a person.
Oh, I've been down that
killing himself for like 3 days straight, where we're like, dude, it's fine, it's not a big deal. You look bad, but who cares? Move on. And
I've been down that
get
path
stabbed in the back later on when the MTG community decides to go down the. What year was that? The 2017, 2016 whole Women in Magic, the Zach Jesse garbage.
That was 2015, I believe.
Yeah, it was before me.
Yeah.
That wasn't
definitely before me.
The Zach Jesse thing was either 2015 or 2016.
Yeah, and that's what got me exiled. That was the big rift between me, Wedge, and college, is when that happened. And there was another guy named Ilion that was a big player in the mix of, he was trying to get me, canceled. And how these people do that is they go after collaborators, they go after your work, they go after anyone that's associated with you and say, look what he's doing. You want to be associated with this? Or like in this case, they were threatening Patreons. So if 20 Community College continued to do stuff with me, then they'd cancel their Patreon. You know, stuff like that. They went after other sponsors, like cool stuff.
I like how
Look what
they
Kevin did.
use
Look at Kevin. Kevin just did an anti-women video. Anti-woman video.
I like how they use networking and collaboration as like leverage or bargaining
they
chips.
They try to dehumanize you. They try to they turn the person to like you can't be associated, like Coach here, like with the whole thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much how you got dissolved from all of it, was just that level of pettiness.
But at the same
I didn't have to
time,
face that because I was an asshole from the beginning.
I got canceled. God.
I was gonna ask, did you've never really had any super controversial moments, have you?
Oh, one time I did the circle game. Do you guys have the circle game in America?
I think I remember us talking on Twitter about this.
Symbol?
Yeah.
Okay symbol. Yeah.
You gotta.
It's because. So the reason why I was doing that was because I was posting a picture of me in very tight pants, and I didn't want people to think that I was doing like a thirst trap. So I was like, haha, I'll be a 12-year-old boy. And then people are like, are you a white supremacist? I still remember when I got the comment from you, sir, being like, hey, are you a white supremacist?
Well, you know the whole story with that, right?
Well, so in Canada, that's not a thing.
Well, it never was a thing.
Yeah, so, it's like a fake whistleblow, but still, like...
Yes. You have to understand internet culture. Okay, let me bring you into my internet. I'm the version of the weeb when it comes to the internet and 4chan and stuff.
Dude, same. Oh, so, I know this shit.
I grew up in Richfield, Utah. Google it. It's population 8,000. The people here wear belt buckles. I have nothing. I've never shot a gun.
So
I'm a pariah in this place. I'm a pariah. I wear like a badge of honor here that I've never shot a gun.
What?
Everyone looks at me like I'm an alien.
It's not that bad. You should. It's pretty fun.
Okay, it's just never just come up. I've never like, let's go shoot a gun. When does that come up?
If you ever come visit my place or my area, that is one of the first things we're doing. There's a shooting range like 5 minutes from here.
Less than 5 minutes from here. There's a shooting range at the end of the street.
If I go and visit you, we are renting out a couple rifles and some pistols, and that's the first thing we're doing. We have to.
I mean, it's not that I'm anti-gun or anything like that. It's just it never came up. It just I've never found myself in the situation where I went shooting. But
it's great if you get the opportunity, take it.
I'm an alien. Yeah. I'm the worst human ever to not shoot a gun. So anyway, but my whole point is that I was raised by the internet. Is that was my community. That was my. So I'm very familiar with 4chan culture. So 4chan hates bros more than they hate basically anything. So that's where, who was doing that? Who was playing the OK? It's a bunch of frat boys that were playing the OK thing. So 4chan's like, let's ruin it for them. Let's ruin their fun. And so they turned it into a white, and it was like, how fast can we make these media fall for it? And they began timing, like how quick they could turn something innocuous into a hate symbol.
Well, yeah, like I grew up going on CGL and then like lolcow, which are like the two girl 4chan boards, because, and it would just be like, I got the joke immediately.
They turned Club Penguin into a white.
Dude, pool's closed, man.
Oh yeah, have a hotel. Fuck yeah, dude.
So I mean, it's so funny that people bought into it. That it was just. It was one of those anti-bro movements. They've done it with so many things. Yeah. They did it with Donald Trump. They turned Donald Trump into a white supremacist. It was funny.
The best was growing up and being on 4chan and Tumblr at the same time. Because it would be a situation where people would be like, okay, we're going to do like cut for Bieber. And then I would just like go to Tumblr and people would be like, oh, cutting for Bieber. And I would just be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I'm just here to like look at anime shit. Like, let me go, man.
I wasn't all that well versed into 4chan, but when I saw that cut for Bieber thing, I think I saw it on like Internet Historian or something like that. God,
love that guy.
So fucking great.
Great channel. He's
like one of the best YouTube channels, especially that No Man's Sky video.
So sporadic. Nah, J-Rag's the best YouTuber. Fight me.
I've seen you share him a few times. He's pretty funny.
That's more Arya than me. That's spamming the J-Rag.
Fucking Arya. We need to get
Yeah, don't
her and Scrawn to
don't-
make content.
don't say her
because
name 3 times. She'll appear.
we need to get their asses to make content so we can bring them on here because they
Hey,
won't stop
Scrawn's
bothering me about it.
Scrawn's already pre-producing stuff for me, so all
Is it
I would
30
hopefully
hours long?
not yet. I don't know because he was apparently. I think he's just gonna go ahead. We're gonna go back and forth a couple times, and then I think he's gonna take and just do all the chapters. Like he's reading and I guess listening to my stuff because I already gave him samples, so I think he kind of has an idea how I want to do this. But he wants to be the pre-production person, which is fine because I hate writing scripts.
What's that Harry Potter thing? Where Hermione uses it to keep going back in time so she can study.
The time turner.
Scrawn has one of those. 100%. You don't even know. You don't. Jordan doesn't know who Scrawn is. Huh? Yeah, no one knows who Scrawn is.
We need to introduce her to Scrawn.
Scrawn needs to introduce himself, man. I feel like he's got it in him to be a pretty fucking great content creator.
It took me 2 years to see Scrawn's face.
Yeah, I saw his face. I think he posted in a Discord, right?
Nah, the first time, yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
of
I know this
him playing
person
in like
forever.
a GP or something like that. Our
Internet's
favorite
such a weird place. Man,
Kiwi.
Yeah, I know. I got a Kiwi friend.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
I know.
Well,
It's almost as bad as having a weeb friend.
You got
Oh, you
lots
think
of
we're
weird
friends.
Weebs ruined Final Fantasy VII. There, if you want to get me ranting.
No, Barrett's voice in the new Final Fantasy VII ruined Final Fantasy VII. That's my hottest take on the game. I strongly dislike his voice acting in the game.
You don't like the sex grunts every 5 seconds?
Is there a way to convert the audio to Japanese audio? Because I would just rather do sub than dub.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
100%.
Good.
But anyway, I derailed you again. We're continue on the.
Wait. So since we're talking about Final Fantasy VII, really quickly, Reno is a himbo. That's enough. We can continue. Go back.
Reno, is he the bald one?
No, he's. Oh fuck, that's rude. Oh
That's
my
rude.
god, that man is beautiful.
So Reno's the red-haired
here's the
one.
conversation.
Reno's the redhead.
Now it's
Okay.
over here.
That'd be nice.
Get it back over this way.
It's called a callback. It's comedy gold. Anyway, yes. Back to the drama.
Yes.
Back to the drama.
Back to the drama. So that's the furthest drama that you ever had was the OK symbol, like, and
Oh, yeah.
I remember that little tiff because I think I participated in that thread too because it was just pure fucking entertainment. Who was it?
I was just like,
I feel like there
Sorry, go
was someone bigger in there that like called you out on it or something. Was it like Jake Boss or was it somebody else? I can't remember.
oh no, it was just like, I don't even know. I was just basically just like, in Canada it's not a thing, guys, calm down. And then that basically quelled it, and then I was like, I bought the pants.
Oh come on, you have to have white supremacists in Canada. You have that entire territory called Alberta.
Yeah, it's because I was about to say like the snow is the actual white supremacist because it's just fucking everywhere.
Isn't like 5% of Canada just uninhabited because it's just like a death trap everywhere?
Oh yeah, like Canada is basically just the most south Canada can be. Like I'm in Toronto, which is basically part of America because it's the part of Canada that's like inside of America, just like going at it raw. And like all of Canada just like goes along the edge, and then that's it. And if you go up into like the Northwest Territories, nobody lives in a White Horse, nobody lives in Yellowknife because who would be like, yeah, I live in Yellowknife? Like,
so
how many people live in Alaska?
So the Canada, as Americans know it, is essentially the Canadian border from the rest of Canada, essentially.
Oh, 100%. Like, obviously there's stuff a lot more north. Like my grandpa's brother lives up where you can ice fish every single day of the year. But none of us want that. Like he goes there for work. Like in Canada, I don't know if this is the case for America, but if you live up like more north, you get like a $2,000 check every month for just living up there.
I think they do that for Alaska.
Alaska does it.
Yeah.
Alaska has as well.
Yeah.
It has to do with the
Like-
oil pipeline, right?
Yeah.
Well, they
Yeah.
need service jobs, like, because it's they're willing to get taxed higher to pay for, who in their right mind would go there to be, to open up a dry cleaner.
Exactly.
Someone who would be willing to get $2,000 a month or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have to they have to incentivize it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Canada is terrible. Like, I'm in basically New York. Like, I am a hour and a half, 2 hour drive from New York City, and it is so disgustingly cold. Like, it's so bad. Like, I can't imagine. Even in Ontario, like, I'm in the little tip, just the tip, yo. I can't imagine at the top of Ontario, and that's not even imagining, like, the Nunavut, which is, like, the most north. It's the most northern country closest to the North Pole, I think. I haven't studied geography.
What's the hottest that it gets there in the summer?
Oh God, hold on. Let me convert this to freedom units.
Oh yeah,
I thought
you run
America
off
had
of
the
like
coldest. I thought we had the
Celsius.
coldest spot in North America. I thought USA did.
So the hottest it gets is about 104 Fahrenheit, 40
Oh, wow.
Celsius.
Oh, that's
And then the coldest it gets is about -22 Fahrenheit, which is -30 Celsius.
So you're 120 something degree or like range. That's ridiculous.
yeah, that kind of sounds similar to where it's like out in Missouri when I grew up there. That seems pretty similar because it rarely ever got up past like 105, 106, but we had pretty bad wind chill factors that would go to like -18, -20 pretty often.
It's terrible. The wind chill this winter specifically, it was negative it's actually -40 in both Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Damn.
It was terrible.
See,
I'm so
and
glad my mom bought me a coat.
Man,
and y'all have.
I'm so
I
lucky
know
up here
for-
in Oregon, man. It's fucking great.
I know for us, like the heat, we have to like. I think the news has done it to where you take the temperature and 100, 104 in South Texas or whatever, but they also include the heat index, which is like basically what it feels like. So if the humidity's right, it could feel like an extra like 10, 12 degrees. So, and the governing body that we have for like, so our governing body for sports is known as UIL, the University Interscholastic League. And so if the heat index actually gets to, I think it's the heat index, if it gets to 109, you can't practice. You can't be
Which
outside.
is 42 Celsius for the rest of us.
Yeah, it's crazy, like, but it
Mm-hmm.
can be so hot, and it's like, since football is trying to be like safer, and we do like our 2 practices a day, it's like it can't be that temperature as far as the heat index goes. Otherwise, you could have kids that dehydrate and they pass out and they could die from like the heat related illnesses and all that stuff. So I mean, it's like, but the lowest I think we've gotten it to was like 35 degrees like Fahrenheit, which is like 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, give or take.
It's 1.6, yeah.
So it's but yeah,
Yeah, my friend just moved to Austin actually, to get a job. And she's just like,
wait, you moved to Austin?
no, my
a
friend did.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, she works at one of the game studios. And she's just like, it's so hot here. I don't understand.
Well, what
Isn't
helps
Austin
us,
kind of like isn't that area kind of becoming like the new Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I think so.
Austin, I thought Austin was
Kind
doing
of.
the worst out of Texas.
It's well, okay, so like Austin, they're very known for being like a music town, but they're also like one of the strangest people you'll ever come across. And it's like Texas is kind of red-ish, but Austin is like, if you put it on the spectrum,
It's
like,
blue.
yeah, it's way over here. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Like they had I know at UT, huge football program, but the students were actually protesting, and I'm still trying to be like PG rated. And I think you can kind of figure out the rhyme, but so gun wise, the guns that they were trying to protest were Glocks. That's the kind of pistol that they were protesting, and it's legal to have. Apparently, it's legal to have that you could conceal carry. Some people can conceal carry on the UT campus, but you can't have. I'm just gonna say sexual toys, and I think you
Oh,
know,
I saw that video.
Yes,
The girl handing stuff out.
Yes, it's
What a queen.
there's a rhyme for it, but if my kids ever run across this, I'm trying to be PG rated. But they were basically protesting Glocks because Glocks are illegal.
Oh,
on UT
Glocks
campus
for
and
cocks.
not-
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know
Yes,
what you're
so
talking
I'm
about.
not gonna say it, but Tasty can go ahead and take that away. But yeah, that's what we're working with.
Yeah, Glocks for
And
cocks. It's great. I love it.
Yes, because you can't have
Awesome.
sexual based
Jesus.
toys on the campus, but you can have a firearm which can kill other people. It's insane. It's great. It's crazy. Like they're that rambunctious. But yeah,
You gotta love it, man. When someone breaks into your house, you just beat them to death with a dildo, man. It's fucking great.
It's like
Dude,
shaking.
Oh, if someone breaks into my house, like I have options. Like I have like a Bowie knife, like that I always keep next to my side table. But
I got two pit
I didn't
bulls
think that those were the
will-
options you were going for.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought no.
I got a plug. I got a.
No. Remember, PG Radio. We're not talking about that. But
I'm so sorry.
violent stuff. Yes, apparently that's illegal.
That's not PG. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, yeah. But yeah, like it's so I basically have like a Bowie knife on my nightstand, and then if I really need to, if it got to where it's like crazy and stuff, like I have a 12 gauge. I have
That's the most effective tool you could have.
Well, and it's like the way you have to load it is, so you actually load it reverse. You have to actually load the way the shotgun works is if you are loading like buckshot, you have to load those first before you do the 2 bird shots, because the first time, if you have to shoot, it's going to be birdshot. It's going to be more of they're going to get peppered. It's not going to be very violent, and it's like a deterrent to kind of like, oh shoot, this guy has a gun, and you're not killing someone even though they're breaking into your house. You can kill them if they're facing front and you like don't know what their intentions are, but it's still like you want to shoot them with birdshot to like go away, and you won't have like a guilty conscience of killing someone even though they're breaking into your house. However, if after the first 2 shots of the birdshot they don't go away, your next shots are buckshot, which are more lethal.
Just tear right through them.
Yeah. Well, or if you want, and the crazy, I definitely don't recommend this, but they also have a thing called slugs, which are basically you're firing a 50 caliber musket.
Yeah, and you're just tearing a hole into them.
Yeah, you would rather do buckshot because if you miss, and that goes into someone's house, you are actually liable for their damage, whether
let alone if you kill them.
Yeah, even if you get
injure them.
Even if you injure them, or if you even do property damage, that if
knock
you
out their
damage
windows
property,
or whatever,
you are liable for their stuff. So, like for pistols, if you have like a handgun, and these are expensive rounds compared to like target rounds, but you have to buy to be on the lawfully safe side. You want to buy what's called hollow points, because if a bullet hits a wall, it shatters and it doesn't go through the wall. And so when you hit someone, it's going to stay in their body. It's a little bit more lethal, but if you miss and it hits like another property, it's not going through that property. So Texas and a whole bunch of southern states have like taken the measure to where, like, if you're going to defend yourself, you're going to do it correctly. Now, whether people are actually going to listen to that advice or not, that's up to them, but there are measures to handling a firearm and getting the ammunition very safely. So like for me, it's like I have access to a 12 gauge. I could load it with birdshot if I want to, just to try to scare the perpetrator. And then you could also load it with the other rounds to, like, if they're not going to stop, well, it's like with the pistol. Like if you shoot them twice, if they don't leave, like you unload the clip. That's what they teach you in like the CDL classes. Like if the threat doesn't stop, you unload the clip. That's what you're taught. So I mean, sex toys banned in the UT campus, firearms for certain personnel, absolutely okay. Nobody's going to deny that. But yeah, Austin is a weird place to go to. It's pretty fun. Silicon Valley per se is that's kind of true because of all the new developmental stuff coming in. Um, but like San Antonio, I would actually argue is becoming a little bit bigger. I am actually not sure why San Antonio is getting so much stuff, and then even Houston, like Houston's just that's our largest city, 2 million people. There's a lot of oil executive companies based out of Houston, and then you also got like this like the shipyard stuff too. So that's kind of what helps Houston is like trading and all this stuff with shipping.
Might be all
so,
the Californians moving that direction.
Well,
they all
and
migrated up here. Fucking Portland's real estate has skyrocketed in the past 5 to 10 years.
our big thing with our state is we don't have a state income tax. What we actually trade that off with is property tax. So like
Interesting.
you know what?
We don't have sales tax here, and instead we have a bigger income tax cut.
Yeah. But like for us, like I pay $3,600 give or take in my taxes on my house. So, and I just refinance. So it's probably actually gonna, depending on the appraisal that they do, it'll probably actually go up. But it's like I pay $3,600 a year in property taxes compared with
Interesting.
what a state income tax probably paying a little bit more. And with the income and me and my wife have, I mean, it could be
So-
significantly higher if they do a state income.
What do your returns look like?
Well, my returns are usually in like the three, like they usually actually could pay off the property tax. It's where my wife's returns actually get problematic because the HR that the company she works for kind of screwed up. So we actually had to pay $1,000 back. But like, if all this stuff was correct, I think we'd probably hit about 4,500 give or take, which is, I mean, that's pretty good. Being a school teacher, like I'm actually the rare exception because I know people in my profession are very low, underpaid, work their butts off, and they're not getting what they deserve.
I'm gonna have to link you.
But
what's that comedian? Zach. Norm.
Norm
Heroes
McDonald.
our teachers are such heroes.
well, but the thing is, like, I'm the school I work at is, and there's a couple other schools in our area. We're kind of the exception. Like, our base pay, and this is all public knowledge. You could actually look at our pay schedules. I mean, it's like starting teachers get like $60,000, and that's
Like
even
$8 million Canadian.
But yeah, 60 grand for a year zero teacher. So someone who's 22, 23 coming out of college, going into the school that I work for, the district that I work at, $60,000, which is a lot. Like I worked at my first school for 4 years. And when I took the job at this new district, it went from an $8,000 pay raise when I was working at the junior high, the middle school, to like the next year, and all the stuff that the board passed, that pay raise went from 8,000 to like 22,000. Like we saw a huge jump. So now, and this is like 60,000 for year zero. I'm on year 7 already. So there's like already a $2,000 more, plus the coaching stipends, which stipends are just lump sums of cash added onto your salary. And there's no measurement for hours. Like you could work 1,000 hours, or you could work like 5 hours in a year and you get the same pay. That's what a stipend is. So when you add the stipends, like I think I make like $75,000 for a teacher and a coach, and that's a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty healthy.
Yeah. So, but that, like I said, we're the exception, and I work at a really good district. Like I have a lower.
You have that privilege that needs to be checked, is what you're trying to tell us.
But I
Utah. We'll pay you $1,200 for an entire season. It's wonderful pay.
But I teach I used to teach 5 or 6 classes at the other district that I work at. Now I teach 4, and I have 2 athletic periods, which is helpful. The harder part, I think, was more demanding from the last school is all the football and track stuff, all the sports related stuff. That's a little bit harder. We do practices a little bit differently, and we also work during football season. We work every single day. at least 4 hours every single day, like Sundays, Saturdays, and then just your regular school day. So like when it comes to football season, like if I see my wife for like an hour or two, like that's pretty lucky. So, but we're like the rare exception. There's other coaches in the area that are getting paid like $15,000-$20,000 less, and we're basically doing the same job. So like their teacher people that I know that are like my other teacher peeps at other schools are not getting the same, getting nowhere the pay that they should deserve. But I mean the area, I have to drive 25 minutes to go to my work, but it's worth every penny. Like if I had to make that decision, I would do it.
Shit, I drive an hour to work every day for that much money. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I commute an hour and a half to go to school. Like,
why I started playing Magic the Gathering was because of the commute.
Yeah,
but dude. It's
speaking of Magic the Gathering,
Magic, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
We play.
One of my favorite tweets.
I rant too, Kevin. So
one of my favorite
real issues
tweets from you, sick1y, was, I can't remember how long ago. It was probably like a year ago now. You posted, every time someone asks me to make Magic content, I delay making Magic content for 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, you said you experimented for like a whole year, like making Magic content, and then you just like kind of stopped. Is there anything that would like ever pull you back in, or is there like a specific reason why you just like would not like resume it ever?
Well, so here's the thing. When I was making Magic content, I was working in an LGS, I was making the content, and I didn't play I didn't play MTGO, I didn't play Arena, like any of that shit. So I didn't have time to play the format that I wanted to play, which is Commander, because I would be spending all of my time either selling people Commander deck lists, which, oh my god, if you're doing a deck list, please sort them by the set that they come out. If I have to pull out the Kaladesh binder like 15 times.
Do not
I don't work there anymore.
On this topic.
Yeah.
I worked in a store that had an immaculate way of how they organized all their stuff. So whenever somebody would order a Commander deck, it would take like 20 or 30 minutes, but we had like a printed sheet of all of it, and we were able to search by set and then alphabetically within the set. So that was great. But but binders and shit like that, oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare.
Forever. Especially the budget Commander players. They are top tier trash. Those are the worst customers.
And it sucks because I was the only Commander player on the staff. So they would just go like, Jordan. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it. So I'd be like, it's your people.
Did you ever have one person that would come in and buy multiple decks?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh.
Like at least once a week.
Jesus.
And it would always be when tournaments were happening. And I was the TO, so I would be doing like judge calls, I would be doing all the pairings, and then people would be like, hey, can I get like 18 copies of this like random rare? I think it's gonna spike. And I'm like, it's not. It's a poo card. The card's poo. Like, sure, it's 25 cents. We have a whole bunch in like the vending machine out in the front. Like, sure, whatever. But yeah, so like I didn't have time to be playing Magic, which when you are a Magic content creator, you need to have inspiration upon making the content. And like contrary to popular belief. Concept. Right? Like, who would have thought?
I don't know. I could definitely, from my point of view, argue that, because even when I was creating content, I was playing Magic very little. And the only time I get any interaction with Magic is Arena. And it's not very often.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's... Oh. So I
at least, like, for me. Well, because especially because my channel was mostly about, like, hey, I just started playing. Here's, like, the new player experience. But if you're not playing, you're not getting the new player experience. Like, especially because, like, I forced all of the guys at my LGS, like, all the staff, to make a Commander deck. I would play against them. I body all of them because they're modern players. So they're like, what do you mean there's a thing called turn 4? Like, so I'd be out here with like,
Wait, there is a turn 4 in Commander? It's news
yeah,
to me.
right?
God, not if
Well, and
you're.
that's not if you're CDEDH, which
Yeah.
is
Oh, watch this!
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
storm off on turn 2. Fucking
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Like I got into Commander to play with my friends, drink some beers, right? But so I just got really creatively drained, and then I was like trying really hard to make like more family friendly, brand friendly content because like I was beginning to get traction,
Hmm.
and I just like kind of fell out of love with my own content, and like I would edit,
Do you
I would
feel like
film, edit, and
the
upload.
the
Yeah.
family friendliness of that soured your love for making that content, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I swear like a sailor. Like I my mom could tell you guys so many stories about me just like my mom was reading me Winnie the Pooh and the Honeybee and I like flipped off a fly that I saw and I was like, "Fuck you, bee." And I was like 2.
Hell yeah! Well, you're on
Yeah.
the right podcast. I think on the first episode, I was looking back. I said like shit and fuck like 20 times in the first 4 minutes. So
I don't.
just
Yeah.
go off on here.
Yeah, I'm about to say I try not to do that, but I slip every now and then. So
Yeah. I curse like a sailor. Like it's bad. There's this one kid who comes to my LGS all the time. I love that kid. That is the one child in the world that I don't want to just like
Mm.
uh yeah. And every time I'm around him, I'm like, just don't mess up. Oh, just don't ruin him. He's so good.
don't goof.
Yeah, and then he's like, I made a mono black deck, and I'm like, I ruined him.
Forever
But
salad.
yeah, oh god. But
What
yeah, it's just you know.
whatever happened to that LGS you were working at? Like, did you just like
I
quit from like having to deal with all the bullshit of them dumping the commander stuff onto you?
so I quit because I got in trouble for helping a customer in a wheelchair.
Really?
Uh, oh yeah. So there's a customer who he has a physical disability. Um, I don't want to go into too much detail because the Toronto Magic scene is pretty small. Um, and he's a fantastic person. I don't want to make him feel bad or anything. But basically, he has a disability in which he can't hold cards.
Hmm.
So it was my first weekend of TOing. It was the War of the Spark pre-release. I was so nervous. I had just got into like the judging, like the judge apps program. I was scared shitless
Hmm.
because the our previous judge went off to he's a drummer and so he went to go on tour.
Oh.
So our previous judge left. He was like, "You're the one that I volunteered. You got this." And I was scared shitless.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. I don't have time to train you, but have fun.
Get thrown
Here,
into the fire.
here, work this
Yeah,
job without any training. Have fun.
yeah. He gave me like 5 minutes training, just showing me how the program worked, which it's actually a pretty easy program to run. But uh, the customer in particular, he brought someone to help him. The person had a bit of a like a family emergency. I didn't really ask, not really my business. He was like, "Listen, I don't have anybody to help me. Um, could someone on staff help me? If not, I'm gonna drop out." It
Hmm.
was round 1. Um, we're always super overstaffed on pre-releases because when the pre-releases are actually going on, you need so many people. But then once it's actually fired, you don't need anyone. So people were just standing around. So I went to the back to talk to management. Well, I talked to the other people on the floor with me, and they were like, "Yeah, go sit down. Like, go help him. Whatever. You and him are buddies." So I went to the back, talked to my manager. Manager was like, "Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. You should help him." So I sat down, I played around with him, and then my manager pulled me aside when I was buying the customer a water bottle. Um, and the manager was like, "Yeah, you're gonna need to stop helping him because if you are helping him, you're cheating, basically." And I was actively doing nothing but reading the names of the cards and then like put card on table, turn card sideways. Like
Isn't
it,
there
I
like an article of like a mother helping her son do that, like that exact same thing or something like that?
Well, exactly. So that was something that I brought up, and he was like, "Yeah, but you're a member of the staff. We're not paying you to play Magic." And I was like, I'm not
You're helping
playing
a
Magic really.
customer?
Yeah, and like they were very quick turns. Like I'm not gonna say which, but like 3 rounds were done in 15 minutes. Like I was sitting down for that long of time.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a huge issue for it, so they were like, if you want to keep helping him, that's your choice. You have to clock out. We're not paying you to play Magic. So I clocked
wow.
out. And then I did the math. I was getting paid minimum wage. I think if they had let me stay clocked in, it would have been $4 Canadian that they would have lost by me sitting down, which is a 285 American. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Fucking penny
I
pinching.
yeah. So I threw a shit fit because that's completely unreasonable because it is a customer service job and I was providing customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the owner who was not there that day pulled me aside and he's like, "We're really sorry. Like we're gonna pay you the $4 that you had to be clocked out for. We're gonna give you some store credit." And like we're gonna think about how to do this better in the future. And that's just I can't.
The damage is already done at that point.
Yeah. And at that
Employees
point,
does the
like
game store have? Jeez.
so at that point, so I can't really say much about it because it will make it very obvious which game store I worked at in Toronto. But it was not only a game store, which so the total employees working that day were probably about 8, if
Mm-hmm.
not higher. And there was
pre-release.
at the pre-release there was probably like 4 of us.
No, how many?
There was
how many participants?
how many players? I think that particular because there was multiple. There was like a noon and then a 3 o'clock. I think there was about 25 to 30 people.
You get 8 employees for. Zach, we need more employees.
Oh no, there was 4 of us working the pre-release. The other ones were
I
doing.
keep firing Zach, but he keeps coming back.
It's because he left you.
That's true.
Yeah, but then my friend had like an office job, and they were like, "We're looking for an intern really badly." So I was just like,
Hell yeah.
and then the day that I came back to be like, "Hey, my internship's over. Are you guys still looking for people?" I got jumped, so I didn't want to work at that place anymore.
You said you stopped going there after you got jumped, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I played D&D with like the majority of the card side staff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of D&D.
Hell yeah.
That's the only reason I have these machines is because of D&D.
That
I don't know what
makes total sense.
Anime or D&D.
I'm just your worst nightmare, dude.
Probably.
Oh,
Such
dude,
a
hold
judgmental
on.
bitch,
Hold on,
Kevin.
You gotta
Jeez.
see the
I own a
latest thing
game
I
store.
made.
I don't know why because
You're masochistic. That's
Oh,
why.
hell yeah.
Zach, it's time to compete with Coach. We're gonna have a mask off.
Dude, that's a
But yeah, so basically I only ever go to that LGS to meet up with the boys for D&D. And
Oh,
then that's
yeah.
about it.
The boys.
Hell yeah.
We're
So-
playing too. Oh, what is
Ooh.
I don't want to put these on my face. I don't know where Zach's face has been.
I have a Kylo Ren mask too, but I don't want to leave and go get it.
He's been wearing these around town, so there's filters in them.
dude,
Oh hell yeah! Oh, is that
Painted it on
is
the
that from
wall.
Mad Max?
Is this Mad Max?
yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Mad Max.
That's amazing.
I need to step up my game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, Coach. Thought you guys were gonna be 3D printing BFFs.
I mean,
I'll start commissioning you.
Okay, so I literally saw
Who's that?
Zach's
Vader.
face like
That's
a
sick.
couple weeks ago. So I mean,
Ooh.
I don't know. We were in a true competition, but yeah. So one of my coaching buddies, so I showed him the
Ooh.
design from Thingiverse. It's like, hey, can you make my son one of these?
Sub-Zero?
So,
Scorpion?
so now
I
he's gonna
think.
paint. He's gonna paint it and stuff. So I think I'm gonna sell. He wanted like, how much do you need from me? I was like I think it costs like $11 with the material and the electricity. I'll sell it to you for like 15. Like it's one of my closest friends, and his son's like really big into Star Wars. So it's like
Mhm.
I'm gonna charge like maybe cost, and I'll drive it to them and like drop it off.
Ooh,
Like,
that stinks.
but yeah, I think people I've showed like the miniatures and stuff. So if you look over here, there's a rack over there with all the D&D miniatures and all the stuff I made.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll usually do sometimes is I'll make collections. I'll sell them to people. So, but yeah, dude, the 3D printer, that's all I do it for was D&D and like making like custom stuff.
Nice.
I love that.
So what do you like more, Jordan? D&D or Magic?
Now it's D&D.
Yeah. Why is
I mean,
that?
I still play Magic.
You guys want to
I
see
mean,
the mini I painted?
hell yeah.
The other 3 you painted.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
that's
said,
nice.
Zach, paint this. So I painted it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, there's a game. You guys want a game? Here's a game for you.
What is it?
Clank. Come on, enter the dark side.
Oh
You
wait,
get
Clank
real-
is the one where you go down below and then come back up, right?
Yeah, I played.
Yeah, I've played that one. That one's a lot of fun.
I officially quit Magic again for the 7 millionth time. So
And here we are making a very
even though I played this
loosely
morning.
MTG based podcast. It's just pretty much a bunch of has-beens talking about a bunch of bullshit.
No,
Hell
Magic,
yeah.
Magic is a unhealthy relationship for me.
I think it is for
Right.
everyone that's like invested in it, especially monetarily. Like at least on that surface level, it's a abusive, unhealthy relationship with us and Wizards of the Coast.
Yep. Yeah, my mono black deck is a semester of tuition.
Oh, nice.
Good lord.
Like fully foiled out and shit, or just
Almost.
nice.
I'm sorry, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm still baffled by the minimum wage number that Jordan presented. Like I'm absolutely astounded because like I have high school kids that are like making like $12, $13 an hour and they're not even graduated yet. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
minimum wage in Canada is 14 something, which is about $10 USD.
Jesus
It's
fucking
still only
Christ.
$7.85 in isn't it $7.85 in the States?
The national, yeah, I believe.
$7.25 is the minimum.
$7.25 is the national.
It's been
Yeah.
that way since 2009.
I think
It hasn't
we're
changed in
national here.
11 years, dude. God.
It's a scam.
Gotta
Don't-
love
hey,
this
Don't get me started on politics.
dystopian-
I'll take all you off.
we will go. Me and Kevin could go probably back and forth on politics if we wanted to.
Yeah, it's a
Even though
Everything's fair.
even though we're really the same person politically, we could still find ways to bother each other. I'm
Like-
fairly sure about that.
one of my
I have to let my cat out. I will be right back.
Go
Sure
for
thing.
it. My cat's somewhere. Where
your cat made a cameo. It was up there by your shoulder for quite a while. I was trying to
Dude,
get my
yeah,
dog to
well,
look at it so she'd go crazy.
Yeah, she was behind here, and then she like appeared in this section for like 5 seconds. But my cat's like super skitsy, man. Like,
Yeah. I was saying,
but-
Chloe, get the kitty. Get the kitty, Chloe. No?
I got 3 cats waiting outside this room, just all chilling, waiting for their pets. I love cats. Cats are
Your
better than
cat
dogs.
actually let them pet you?
Oh yeah.
Mine
Well, they're
was-
not mine. They're my roommates, but they're amazing cats. They love
That's
attention.
why, the early when I saw my cat pass, it was one of those things that, first of all, it was a cat that was kind of not dumped on me, but, yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Mhm.
Came with the house, we'll put it that way. I like the cat, and the cat liked me, but it just didn't. All it cared to get was fat. You feed it, pat it on the head twice a day. It wanted a pat, not a pet, a pat on the head in the morning,
It's a little
and then a
poop.
pat on the head before I went to bed, and then I just needed to feed it, and that was it. If I did anything else with it, it got mad. So
my
Aw.
cat is like bipolar. Like she'll like when me and Grace wake up, like she'll come up and like just have her face like right there, and she'll like start meowing. It's like, okay, she needs to be fed. But then like when she's just chilling there, you try to pet her, she like starts to like claw at you and like all this. So like she's skitsy.
Mhm.
So she'll come up to me and wants attention, and then you try to give her attention, she like runs away. So it's like I don't get it. Like what do you want from me, cat? Like what do you want?
I can usually get along with most cats. Like I understand like mostly like how to approach them just because I've growing up with so many of them. But the ones in particular, the ones that I live with, there's one that will, no matter what you do when you walk up to it, it will always want to like meow at you and start a conversation for pets because it's a whore and it just wants love and attention all the time. And the other one's super skittish, but she's super sweet. And then the third one is this regal bastard that couldn't give a fuck whether or not you pet it. He's just like king of the house, pretty much. But I've always found that's kind of like the trifecta of cat personalities. Either you're attention whore, you're super skittish, or you just don't care. You're like, whatever, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, Tifa is the dumbest thing in the world.
Final Fantasy VII character?
Yes.
Are
But
you
also
mad-
Queen Latifah.
Are
Yeah.
you mad that Tifa has fake boobs?
I'm mad that okay, so here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I
Wait,
know
they're canon that they're
I'll
fake?
take about her boobs.
It's canon that
So
they're
here's the
fake?
thing. Is it canon that they're fake?
Oh, come on.
So here's the thing. So I know a lot of people were pissed off about the fact that her boobs are smaller now. Those people don't understand how boobs work. Because she's wearing a sports bra. So they are probably actually the same size.
They're just holding them in
twitched.
tighter. Yeah.
And God, I hope that they're still huge. Like, I just remember like sitting and looking at those like polygons and just being like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
To find the
So-
Twitter post though where they're outraged because one of those things is like unrealistic expectations on girls, and then someone was like, was Barrett next to it? It's like, yeah, not unrealistic expectations. Guys, at all.
Barrett
His
looks
biceps are,
like
bigger than his head.
Barrett's basically the Final Fantasy version of like the refrigerator Perry from like the Bears. Like he's freaking massive. Like that
Yeah, he
is the epitome of like unreal male expectations is Barrett.
Well, it's also because Cloud is like a twink. Like Cloud's 5'6", I think, and like probably weighs like 140.
And he's a turbo virgin. I've
Oh,
seen
God.
all the clips of him in the game. He's just denying Jesse and Tifa, and everyone's just like, nah, I'm good.
God, I love Jessie. I'm waiting on that wig to come in. I'm cosplaying her because she's just
Nice.
call that girl Goku. She's trying to ride a cloud. Like, but well, so they did this thing where so Sephiroth doesn't have I'm about to go off. Sephiroth doesn't have a canon height, but people are like, oh, he's approximately 6 foot. But Zack is canonically 6'2", and then Sephiroth is at least like 4 inches taller than him. I think. I don't know. Yeah, but then people are just like, yeah, Sephiroth's 6 foot, and my friend and I just went off, just being like, no, Square Enix.
Sephiroth's basically like a basketball player. Like he's tall. He's a big boy.
I think he's like 6'7", judging by like the models. Girls on Discord get really weird. Like we went through and we did like a face to like height ratio, and we like mapped it out. We're like, how tall is he?
I love it.
There's like that stupid meme where it's like a girl accidentally summons a demon, and then the demon shows up and he's like, what do you want from me? And she's like, wow, you're really tall. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, how tall are you? He's like, I'm 7'8". Is that so funny? With or without the horns? Like, it's terrible. I hate women.
So now if the demon would have said 5'11", is that short? Like, you know how the memes are, oh, I'm 6
Yeah,
foot,
okay.
or I'm
So-
5'11", and
so-
it's
It's
just
like
like
7'11".
ah.
So what do you think the women's consensus in that Discord server would be
Yeah,
for
'cause I'm
everyone that's
I'm
under
curious
6
now
foot?
with the height.
Well, so I'm the tallest one in that chat.
Mm.
One's 5'2", and the other's like 5'6". So they're both dating guys who are shorter than I am. So I've dated guys shorter than me. Like whatever.
How
I
tall
don't-
are you again?
I'm like 173 centimeters, which is
I don't know what that
Like
is.
what, 5'9"?
it's like almost 5'9".
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
the tallest member of my family at whopping 5'10". I come from a family of midgets.
Like
All the dudes in my family are huge.
Yeah, like I'm between me and my cousin, I think we're like a half an inch apart. So Like my older cousin used to go to LSU. He tried to walk on for the football team, and I think only lasted a year through the state tuition program or whatever. But me and him, like I'm 6'2", he's like 6'2" and a half. And so we're like the tallest in our family. And then everyone else, like my older brother's like 6'1". Zachary got screwed over. He's like 5'8". Like I have girl powerlifters that I used to coach who are taller. For Zach. Yeah, like I have girl powerlifters who were taller than my younger brother, and that like they were really embarrassed. So it was pretty funny. Like Zachary got screwed genetically, but that's why he's so smart, and he's like an engineer and makes a whole bunch of money. So yeah, he
came out on top in a different way.
He's fine. He went to a D1 school and got a really good job, so he's fine. So I'm not.
What about you, Kevin?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
I'm 5'8".
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, look at you bragging on 5'8" people.
Hell yeah.
Cut.
Yeah?
I don't know. I think height ain't shit.
If you can reach me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I tower over you.
Small growing up. I didn't quit growing till I was senior. So I was like the shorty in middle school, elementary.
It's like by between 15 and 16, where I went from like 5'9". I was 15 to like I had like a 5-inch like growth spurt like my freshman and sophomore year, and then also during that time I gained like 30 pounds of just like muscle mass. It was stupid. Like I went from like 200 to like 250. I went up like two weight classes.
Wait, hold on, Coach. Can you hear me? I think I'm running into some technical issues. Can you other two hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
There's Kevin. There. Okay.
Your internet.
I think it might be my internet because I lost
connection.
Everyone's
on Netflix now, so they're throttling you.
Yeah, I connected. Yeah. Okay. We're good. Sweet. So what the
Yeah,
fuck
I don't know.
We're talking about Tifa's boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tifa?
Yeah.
No, my Tifa. I call her Tifa. Whatever. I give up.
Yeah. I just listen. I'm just happy she's Mega Milk still.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
She's Mega Milk, man.
Well, my favorite part about that Twitter, I'll have to find the Twitter thread, is then women started showing their boobs. Like, I guess I'm fake. I guess I'm.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Like, there's a friend of mine. She's like 4'11", and she's like she's a triple D.
Damn.
And she's just like, dude, I
Damn.
loved Tifa growing up. And I was like, yeah, girls exist that look like that. Like, yeah, not every girl looks like that, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But like let the girl have tickle bitties. Like Aerith has small boobs. Jessie has small boobs. Cloud has small boobs. Like all the girls have itty bitty titties. Like let Tifa have it. Like
I think my favorite argument with that is they're upset when women are drawn with unrealistic expectations like that, which is just like, there's no way that women could look like that. But if women are drawn flat-chested, they're called pedophiles or something like that. They're just like, you're being suggestive the other way. It's just like, what are you trying to say here? Are you just saying just don't put drawings of women on the internet? Nothing satisfies you. Everything's got to be like a C cup or nothing else. Like that's it. I don't understand.
I mean, yeah, I don't get it, cause like, well, it's this like weird thing where like, so I watched this movie last night actually, it's called Flower. It's from like 2017. It's about this girl who she hooks up with guys, and she like extorts them for money, basically, which like, I mean, a lot of women love that, but and then she hooks up with a guy who molested her stepbrother as like an excuse to extort him and then like ruin his life more. It's a weird movie. But then all of the comments, I like to go on this website called Letterboxd, because it's just like a really good way of
on there not too long ago.
Yeah. It's so good, but it's very preachy, the website. So all of the comments are like, oh yeah, this is like really obvious this was written by men, which I was watching the movie and I was like, oh, who wrote this? Like the female dialogue, like the teenage dialogue is really accurate for women. But because she hooks up with a accused pedophile, and it like they just get really angry about it. Like, I feel like outrage culture is just, we are mad
Scraping.
about this thing because we feel like being mad about this thing.
I feel like they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel to the point where their fingers are bleeding raw because they're scrubbing so hard at the bottom of the wooden barrel. There's just wood chips flying everywhere, and they're running out of things to complain about. And the purity spiral is just moving out of control, and everyone's just getting cast out constantly. You know, it's funny watching that happen in Magic actively, just more and more as the years go by. It's just like you're really starting to see who's all in it for the money and the promotion and who's actually in it for the passion at this point.
Yeah.
What it's
Well,
like for just, and this is like everyone I come across or just Magic people in real life. It's like I think everyone's new pastime is like complaining. Like that's the thing now. Everyone wants to complain about everything instead of like
You're
trying
the
to
Karen.
actively solve
Karen with a hard
the
R.
problem. I mean,
Yeah,
it
like,
just amazes me. So go for it, Jordan.
oh, it's kind of like off topic, but like, especially it's particularly poignant in the fan fiction community right now, which is pretty wild. Because there's like people who there's a website called Archive of Our Own, which is a fan fiction website which hosts any fan fiction that you want. It's like a closed beta, so you have to like apply to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But you can post about whatever you want, regardless on how spicy it is, whatever. And there was a fan fiction website that just recently came out that was like, you can post about stuff, but without this, or this. And it's like anything that gives a story like a good plot.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like no character death, no drug use, no swearing, no this or
No,
that.
any like real issues.
Yeah, like,
any plot.
Nothing that can
any
cause
story.
conflict or.
yeah. And then everybody are just like, okay, you know what? Actually, this is a good thing. Like, how about the really soft, big crybabies just go to that website and then stay there forever, permanently. And it's, I don't know. I grew up, like, as we were talking about earlier, I grew up on 4chan, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's why my skin is so thick. Like, I don't. People are coddled too much these days.
They really
And
are.
it's
Especially
good and bad.
I mean, like, I guess, but especially when it devolves to the point where you see it on sites like Twitter, where that's like 90% of the content. And you know, it's funny,
Yeah.
like when you think about it, like all the raged out people who have nothing better to do but complain for the sake of complaining, that accounts for like 1 to 2% of the average population of wherever they're coming from. Because, I mean, let's be honest here at this point, Twitter is just a site for degenerates, just to spout off their garbage opinions. It's not the real cultural zeitgeist, but for some reason, corporations think that it is and that they need to appease to it. Like, you get your fucking, what was it, the Gillette ad from like 2018, and how,
Like, man, the be the best man or something like that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
toxic masculinity is a problem. You men being men is a problem, even though it's hardwired into your brains why you do the things that you do. But tisk, 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 that's problematic. It's not part of the
Well,
new
one thing-
status quo.
I think
Go ahead.
me personally, it's like and this is me, like the whole toxic masculinity thing. There's some kids that we have in our school that do not get enough like masculine interaction. They have no like male role models, and I kind of think that's a problem where there's no,
Those
they
are
get a
the
lot
type of people
female
who grow up thinking that masculinity is toxic inherently, or there are a lot more negative things in that because they've, particularly now, they're being raised in a culture being told constantly, you know, divulging into things that men are chastised for is wrong. So don't do that. You need to figure it out and do something else and get in line. That's kind of what it feels like at this point. Like, it feels like this weird indoctrination.
I
Like,
think
I
the whole-
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it, Jordan. I'll talk after you. Go for it.
Oh, well, so I was gonna say I actually do think that there's toxic masculinity,
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure.
it's definitely like an extreme. Like, my dad would get drunk and hit my mom. Like, that's
Yeah.
toxic masculinity. But like, I like someone being like, I am sitting down and I have testicles.
Oh, you cut out for a second. Are you talking about main
Oh.
spreading?
Yeah, like, okay, it's definitely annoying, but like, you need the space, and I've seen way more women putting their purses down on a seat that I want to sit on than a dude like spreading his legs.
I'm the ultimate piece of shit. I'll put my backpack on the seat to my left and then spread my legs out and just be like this and be like, when
You're
I'm on
what's
that
wrong with
train.
society.
I am. I'm willing to admit it. But yeah, guys need to spread their legs apart because, well, you know, we got things in between our legs that when they get warm and sweaty, it becomes awfully uncomfortable. And that's why we do it. That's 99% of the reason why we do it. Yet it's like
Well, and
some
also-
inherent toxic trait.
Yeah. Well, and also like one thing that I've definitely noticed is, so this is like a Tumblr term, so apologies in advance, but there's something called a squick. I don't know if any of you guys know what a squick is.
I want to learn.
What's a squick?
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually like a good Tumblr term. So a squick is something that makes you feel kind of uncomfortable. So, for example, a squick of mine could be snakes. I got bit by a snake as a kid. I like look at a snake and I'm like, ugh. But it's not as bad as like somebody being triggered by something. Like, so people I think are using the term triggered to include squicks, which squicks are actually like, squicks are a really good term because it's something that makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to see it, which is fine. But as someone who, like, after the attack, I was dealing with PTSD, I did kind of get like actually triggered about stuff. Like, as much as people meme on that shit, like when you see someone coming up behind you who looks like the guy who jumped you, you freak out. And like, for someone who has, I've thankfully gotten past that, but like, first, as someone who's had to deal with that, it really bothers me when someone's like, yeah, someone looking into the camera triggers me. I'm like, I mean, it could.
Well,
I'm not gonna say it can't.
it's just because we've normalized mental illness. That's the issue with the term triggering. Because triggering is a term they use mainly for borderline personality disorder. It's something that when you're dealing with someone, especially with someone like borderline, there are things that can the terminology trigger a lot of times would be something that wouldn't set off someone that was in a healthy state, that would for whatever reason. And so they get it is used as a tool for borderlines to help communicate, saying, okay, it triggers me for this certain thing to happen. And so it was a cue. It's like, okay, let's try to avoid these situations. If we're the adult here, and the mentally ill person's not, let's try to help them avoid these sort of situations because they can't handle that sort of situation right now. And we start normalizing mental illness and trying to like mainstream it to say, though, everyone gets triggered, which, okay, but as a normal, rational, healthy human being, those are something that you should be able to handle or deal with. You have coping mechanisms. That's the problem with people that are emotionally have issues. They don't have coping mechanisms.
Their coping
So it's just that whole
mechanisms is
term
Twitter.
is so stupid.
This is where my wife needs to step in because like this is like her department right here is mental health. Like that's where she got her master's in, was all that stuff. So man, if we could get her on
So
like, for like 10 minutes and just talk about this.
So me and her can
She could
argue.
Same thing with my mom.
Yes, absolutely.
My mom's a registered therapist. Like, that's
Nice.
what she does.
I hate
Yeah.
psychology. I hate it. I hate it.
I love it.
I think it's the most.
I'm in marketing. That's my shit.
Psychology is the most useless field.
Looking into
It's
the
useful for
human mind.
marketing.
Yeah, for marketing. Oh yeah.
No, I dropped out of psychology because it was such a talk about something that's been so politicized and washed over, where you're not allowed to actually get to the bottom of things because everything's become so politically correct.
Like whenever you try and dig into something, you're like
Oh,
either
yeah.
offending
Well,
somebody or you're.
I will talk your ear off about borderline personality disorder because it's something that's affected, me very personally. So that's why I got into psychology is over BPD, and it's just it's the first of all, it's the biggest cheerleading. I mean the amount of
Everyone's patting themselves on the back.
Coddling is the perfect word when it comes to BPD. And when I think that's actually the worst thing you could do with someone with that condition is to normalize it or coddle it or to try to mainstream it. Now you have so many kids going around saying they have every emotional girl will claim they have borderline personality disorder. It's become a wastebasket of diagnosis. It's as bad as like autism, or what was the one before that was so you're a little bit abnormal. Oh, you have this. And so it's just that's why I got into psychology and
ADHD was a huge fad.
Yeah, ADHD is another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, triggering has always triggered me when people use triggered. Yeah, because it really is a PTSD thing or a borderline thing, and it's not something that should be normalized for just the regular. Oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable. That makes me feel.
Well, and like for me, it was a situation where I would look like if I saw someone who looked like the guy who jumped me, I would freak out, which is like very specific. And like same thing with like soldiers with PTSD or like sexual assault victims or like people with actual PTSD. I remember, funny enough, the girl that I was talking about earlier who got me my job at my LGS. She once told a guy that he did not have PTSD because he said something about being triggered as like a joke because, comedy is a coping mechanism. And she was like, no, if you wouldn't joke about that if you had it. And he was like, should I call my doctor or... And I just like was sort of sitting there like, I was like, wow, have you guys heard of soup? Soup's delicious.
You're not allowed to cope in the way that I deem fit. It's just...
Yeah.
God, it's almost like the same as the people who... What is it? There's a comic. There's a web comic that's circling around. It's about D&D in specific, talking about like orcs being racist. And he's just like, oh my God, don't you find this racist? And it's a white woman talking to a black person that they're playing in the D&D game with. He's like, no. And she's like, well, I'm going to be offended for you.
Yeah. Well, that's like, my boyfriend's Chinese. Like, he was born in China, like Macau, but China. And he lived there for 15 years of his life, came here. And like there's words that I personally don't care to repeat, but he's like, my grandpa's a racist. So he's like, is your grandpa going to call me this? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, probably. And he's like, that's hilarious. Like, it's different for different people, right? Like, I don't know.
That's fucking great. At least he's willing to roll with the punches on that.
Yeah, well, especially...
I'm pretty sure my grandpa had some racial tendencies. He lived in southern Louisiana, so he said some stuff when I was kind of a younger child that kind of like, oof, that's I
made
being in like the 50s and 60s.
I made the grave mistake of in middle school telling people that I had native blood in me. So like they would have two nicknames for me, Scalper or Injun. That was it. Those are the only two. So you get used to it. Because the kids are brutal, man.
Well, and that's the thing too.
High school kids are brutal.
Well, yeah. Like, so my boyfriend, I'm not going to use his name because he prefers me not to, but he has a very like normal Caucasian name. Like, and
Steve.
like it's something like that. And so when he moved, if you are a foreign exchange student in China and you sign the paper that's like, where do you want to go in America? And you go, I don't care, they send you to Iowa. So he grew up in Iowa, where they make white people. Like,
that's where I was I was born in Iowa and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, but yeah, I'm very familiar with that. Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, nothing but soybean and cornfields as far as the eye can see. It's fucking great.
Yeah, dude. And he went there and he knew no English. Like his classmate, this is like my favorite story that he told me of his like foreign exchange student days, was his classmate in China told him that if somebody says what's up to you,
Hmm.
the appropriate response is what's up. So some dude came up to him and he's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And my boyfriend was like, "What's up?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And they went back and forth, going, "Yeah, man, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Hey, what's up, man?" For like 5 minutes. And then he also had
It's like
he
a
had
moment from
t-shirt,
like, dude, where's my car or something.
right? Was mine say, "Dude"? What does yours say, "Sweet"? But he also had a shirt that he bought in China,
Hmm.
probably at the mainland, and he had it said like, "No one touch me, no one fuck me." And then like someone came up to him and it's like no one fuck with you? And he was like, "Yeah." But he didn't realize until like now.
That he was
It's
the most intimidating motherfucker over there.
yeah,
Translation errors.
it was so
Great.
bad. He's like, "I wish I kept that shirt, man.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
so good." Yeah. God, the stories that he has, so good.
What's it like dating him?
It's fine. I mean, it's
Is it
been
is he like fully accustomed to Western culture, or is he like
I
having
mean,
difficulties?
the only like thing is he like so there's no pronouns in China.
Mm,
Like you use he for everyone. So that's dangerous for
mm.
him. And then he just like randomly pluralizes words. But otherwise he's completely whitewashed. Like he's like, "I hate Chinese girls. I don't
We've,
want to date a Chinese girl."
we've corrupted him.
Yeah. I mean, he listens to pop punk. Like you can't get whiter than that.
Oh no, no you can't.
Yeah.
No. You can get whiter. It's called listening to K-pop, because that's what all the white girls do nowadays. At
I'm a
least that.
reformed K-pop girl.
Oh, are you? What's
Yeah.
what's the K-pop culture like?
That's the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is why I'm like magic community. Pfft. I've seen girls like threaten to kill other people over liking the same boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
That's awesome.
I
What,
was so
what
happy I liked the ones that nobody else liked. Oh God.
I've seen plenty on Twitter of like what they'll do is like they'll go to popular
The fan
accounts
cams.
and they'll just spam clips of like them performing at concerts or whatever, or clips from music videos all the time.
Hmm.
And I've seen some like accounts that have like have some clout in the community where like
Hmm.
they'll send out like a hashtag or they'll send out a specific tweet in response to somebody disrespecting K-pop, and just a huge swath of just all these accounts and like dummy accounts and spam bot just like shitting all over Twitter people and everything. It's just that
K-pop
seems
culture's
like
scary.
one hell of a hive mind culture
If you
there.
if you want to mess with someone, you don't mess with like 13-year-old girls because they will destroy you.
These girls
And that's the
were
majority of the
born.
community.
These girls, what's that Bane meme? I was born in the darkness, molded by it. That's what
Yeah.
these girls are like. They were born in the age of the internet, so they'll dox your ass immediately.
It's terrifying.
What was that? What was that Twitter? This a couple days ago, where there that only men can be vile. That one was beautiful. That was going around.
Wait,
Oh
what?
my God.
It was one of those things that I'll define where the tweet came back that was like only men can do something this mean to another person, and then it just got flooded with women responding. And
I'm about to say
That
there's
reminds me of
whole
teenage
shows
girls.
on.
Coach, you
There's
need to
whole
coach
shows on
teenage
like
girls.
I have coached teenage girls for 4 years. Granted, they weren't like 13 and 14. They were more like 15 through like 18 at the first school I was at, and even at my new school, like I mean, there's like it's the same age group every now and then. So I mean, yes, I coach teenage girls. Like that's a thing. Like hell, at the first school I was at, like the girls powerlifting program was really not good, and I got thrown into the fire. Like, oh, here's your first head coaching job. My first year, I remember doing powerlifting and weightlifting and all that stuff, and I took these random kiddos that showed up to the first meeting, and over the next 4 years, they turned into like monsters, and they turned into really good multi-sport like badasses. Like, so I was very proud of what I did with the girls over there, and even some of the like the boys programs. But like the girls, once they started having a little bit of success, then we actually got the real good athletes coming in and just dominating. So I was very proud of like my best success at my first school was the girls powerlifting program. Absolutely. That was like, we have girls that were just mega strong, and they did track, softball, they did a whole bunch of other sports, and it complemented each other. So
Nice.
but yeah, conversations with those kids, you have to be really careful with, because like if you stumble upon a conversation that's not so appropriate, like I usually just walk away. It's like, nope, didn't hear that, nope. And it's like,
Especially as a
you
dude.
have to.
Scary.
What's up?
Well, especially
Yeah,
like
I can wait
Yeah.
on this
it's
one because I
it's
coached both. Well, I didn't really coach the girls, but I mean the swim teams are combined, so I was technically the boys coach, but I mean it's the same team, and
Yeah.
boys can get very mean. We'll put it that way to each other. So I had to break up locker room fights. I had to deal with some really mean stuff that some of the, especially when they're competing for a girl or a spot or something like that, guys can get vicious, but it takes it to a whole another level of how vile the teenage girls could get with one another, and it was all stabbing in the back. It was never to the face. It was all this like
Very
we had this
subversive.
pretty girl, and she was also our star swimmer, so had both of that going for her. And man,
I've
those
had
girls
a
would
few-
be so nice to her, and so, oh, you did so good, congratulations. And the crap that they would do and say, and the things they do to sabotage her, would make your skin crawl, all while being like, oh, you're gonna come to the party with us tonight, you're coming, and like, it just, whew, it made me. And that's like going to kind of back to what we were saying, like one of the worst things I have to admit as a strong male is being physically abused by a female, and then trying to go and get support for it. And it's funny because I thought when I was on my journey of I kind of turned into a woman hater for a while, because I just assumed that they were all going to side with my abuser. And lo and behold, what I found is I had a never-ending stream of allies from women. It was other men that I was the bad guy with, that there's no way that a woman could act like that. I'm making up, I'm lying. There's no way. No, I know her. There's no way she could do that. And it's funny, like actually kind of going back to the Magic community with some of the nonsense that goes on with, the let piss poor behavior slide with certain MTG creators because of their specific gender. Because their intentions have to be all good, and it's always the men that are perpetuating that, and the women in my experience see right through it because they've been in those locker rooms with the other girls.
Well, have you guys been following the whole Johnny Depp thing?
With Amber Heard.
yeah.
Oh, she's evil.
She's a monster.
Dude.
Same thing with Julia Roberts' niece, Emma Roberts, beat the crap out of Evan Peters.
Oh, really?
But she's cute and she's blonde, so she didn't do anything.
But behind the door, she was just fucking swinging. Because it's
He
like,
was
who's
like-
gonna fucking believe you, right?
Right? She's
That
like
was-
5'2".
I think that was one of the things
God.
that got me thrown out first in the MTG community, was when I openly talked about, this sort of issue of, and was, quite frank about it, that it was the MRA junk that I got kind of thrown into. And I might have gone through a little bit of a stage of being a light MRA, and that's mainly due to the fact that there's a lot of overlap between Alcoholics Anonymous and So there's support groups for what's called nons, for there's Alcohol Anonymous nons, so the partners of people that are alcoholics, and that has some overlap with a lot of the domestic abuse nons as well, and that has a lot of overlap with the mental illness. So I got involved in a lot of these groups, and met a lot of other people that are in a similar situation as mine, and started going to a lot of these fathers' rights kind of activism. And because you really want to hear heart-wrenching stories about these guys that have lost their kids just because they're male. I mean, that's literally it. I mean, you could have the evidence stacked up and stacked up and stacked up, and it doesn't matter. It's a lot of times they'll lose their kids anyway because the courts will rule, especially in a very traditional state like Utah, that they still believe that a child can live without a dad, no problem. There's no issue. But a child cannot live without a mom. And so they'll give these kids to the moms no matter what the abuse is, no matter if they have the kids that are like begging for daddy and stuff. And so it makes your skin crawl to be involved with this. And so yeah, I went through my little phase of being I like to call an MRA light, because of just the horror stories I was seeing. And I was cherry picking. I was trying to, find these stories to justify my own trauma and whatnot. But it's funny how quick that other males are ready to attack you.
Do you ever think that's like part of like part of their brain, like competition, like
the malating?
The malating, trying to like grandstand, essentially the peacock ruffling its feathers. That's what it always kind of seems like to me when they act like that.
That's going back to the magic community too. Is why I think it's so rampant in there. Is these guys are so desperate. They're so thirsty. As you start following their likes and
I'm horny on Maine. I don't care.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's a secret wish. So
yeah,
when these people fear this super masculinity is they secretly wish it for themselves, type nonsense. And oh man, the magic community is just skin crawlingly.
I'm so glad I got married because I don't have to worry about the single life anymore. And I'm such a homebody. I don't have to like actively do stuff to like attract women anymore. Like now it's just like I get to potato and I get to like do my honeydews and all that. So yeah, that was a chore, was trying to find like a person to stick around for more than 6 months, because the previous relationship I had was lasted 6 months. That was the longest I've had. And then I met Grace, and that was, yeah, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to impress other women.
That's the
I
fucking.
have to impress people now. So
that's a fucking
and worry about
goal,
finances. And it was a chore trying to find it was actively hard because I've always had problems talking to women. Like I've just, my wife comes out, oh, you're so good looking. You got blonde hair, blue eyes. You're super tall. You're super skinny. You're so fit. You went to college and did athletics and stuff. You
make
never seen me talk before.
$75,000 a year.
She wrangled me up when I was at the poor district. So yeah.
Oh, okay. She was your sugar mama.
Yeah. The angel investment. We love to see it.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about Therese Nielsen though.
Therese Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yes, I would love to talk about Therese Nielsen. Dude, that's when I stopped making magic content regularly, is like when all that shit started to resurface. Because it like originally popped up back when, 2016, 2017? But it was like it was like a little murmur, like one person complained.
When Trump, so it's part of the whole
17, 18, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, the paper trail started with the Trump stuff, so.
Yeah, because she liked. Yeah, she liked stuff that was like.
Goes even further back than that. Her wife liked stuff, so she was guilty by association first. So
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she checks the marks. She's a woman. She's LGBT. Not good enough. She likes Trump. Get the fuck out.
A really special place in my heart, because I think we are on very similar paths. So I'm an ex-Mormon. I went on a mission. I was born. My family, both sides, incredibly third generation, fourth generation. I can
This
trace
is our
my
first conversation
ancestry.
when I first talked to Kevin.
I can trace my ancestry all the way back to Joseph Smith. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, very, very much in the faith. And I left the faith. And if you want to talk about being a pariah, leave a faith that is also the political power and is also the community power in like there. I wouldn't like a lot of people have Mormons all wrong. I don't know. Maybe they do and maybe they don't because it looks like Waco. If you on the outside, it's like, but it's really not. It might have been like 100 years ago or 50 years ago, but now it is. There's a huge cultural aspect to it, but it's not crazy, we'll put it that way. But when you leave the faith, it is very isolating and you become a pariah. I lost a girlfriend over it. I lost job opportunities. I lost friends. People hated me. I had relatives that didn't want anything to do with me. I'd come to like family reunions, like, cousins, don't talk to Kevin. I'm one of the older ones too. So both my mom and dad are the oldest. So
your reputation was tainted.
Well, I was one of the oldest, so I'm looked up to as an example for all the younger cousins. And Mormons are very, very tight knit with their families. And I know all my cousins. Some of the younger ones I don't, because I've kind of gone away from it. But and they're large families, so I have like 50 cousins on each side probably. So I have like 100 cousins.
Damn.
I have to keep track with.
Everyone's fucking like rabbits. Damn.
But well, let's see. My one of my cousins my age has 11 kids.
Fuck.
Oh wow.
And one miscarriage, I think. So she would have been on her 12th if that one would have.
It's like a clown car.
Jesus Christ.
So that's it. She was memeing that Utah put a order of 10. Like if you're in a group of more than 10 people, you could get her, charged. She's like, guess we can't have family dinner.
Oh my god.
Put out to pasture. So she was actually threatening her kids, like, well, gotta vote one of you off the island. So anyway, so
11 kids.
Therese, like leaving that community is very ostracizing, and I can only imagine. See, I was still a straight, I wasn't passing that off that whole aspect of it becoming an additional pariah of my my sexual orientation. But I can feel for Therese. She was Idaho. That's as bad as Utah as far as the Mormon culture. It's still extremely, especially that Rexburg area where she was from, is what I gather is where she's from, is incredibly LDS. And so leaving that faith took a lot of courage, and it took a lot on her being thrown out of a community. And I feel for her there. And then she found a niche as an artist, and as really embraced it, and got in with this this company, this progressive company, and was an all-star. She was something that Wizards just looked to keep doing pieces and pieces because she was such a highly sought after artist. And then just like me and her, we grew up fighting our faith, like, because I as far as conservatives is concerned, I probably look like a flaming progressive to them with my political and social beliefs. And same thing with Therese.
Yep.
But like it goes to a point where nonsense is nonsense, whether it's coming from the left or the right. And Therese is obviously had enough with the pendulum swinging the other direction to where things became taboo again. And she wasn't. Now she's getting in trouble for racy art, and now she's getting in trouble for her economic beliefs and whatnot. That's mainly, most of her tweets were more on the economic line than the social line. I mean, they were more for the economic conservatism than it was for any sort of
social issues.
Yeah, you'd consider kind of the right wing stuff. And and then to be thrown out again for being by the community that you pioneered it's just disgusting. And those people that tried to completely get her, and they succeeded. They got her thrown out for it. You haven't seen any artwork from her for a while.
Yeah.
Steve Argyle's being dragged in it because Steve Argyle's pretty good friends with her, and he wasn't a part of Ikoria. And one of his tweets was kind of, I wonder if there's more to it. He was super sad that he didn't do any art for Ikoria because he feels like it was his.
Yeah, dude, that's like
his.
That's a perfect set for him.
Yeah, it's his jam.
Mm-hmm.
But Anyway, yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts coming as from a different perspective. Jordan, you liberal Canadian, right? Isn't that Justin Trudeau?
Hanging out with True Daddy. Hell
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah,
He had to do
after
he had to do a press conference being like, "Can you please all stop calling me True Daddy?" And then we were all just like, "More, more." But so
Reverse psychology, it works.
All the
it's a
girls
Streisand effect.
all the
Yeah.
American girls asking him to marry them. You ever see that
Yeah.
video?
Man, yeah. I mean, he looks like Prince Eric, so I get it, but like, yeah. But yeah, so this is coming from someone who has met Therese multiple times. She, like, her and I follow each other on Twitter. She knows who I am. Like, when I went to get signings done by her, she was like, "Oh, my YouTube friend," because I did a whole video about just how much I love her art.
I remember
Like,
that one.
yeah, like the Hannah Ships Navigator, like the one back when I was blonde, the bitch looks like me. Like, obviously she drew it before me, but like I was like, same hat, same hat. But like, so she is someone that I have met multiple times. I've met her wife. I've seen her very drunk. I have drunk stories of her that I won't share on the podcast, but I can talk about later.
Ooh.
Hilarious stories. I don't wanna talk about that, but
She gets down.
she gets a little lit. It's great. Love that for her. Yeah. Um, but she's been like nothing but nice to me. The woman cannot work technology to save her life. I'm gonna just be real with you. She got one of those like phone printers,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "I have no idea how to do this. Can you please do this for me?" I was like, "It's like, yeah, baby girl, I got you." But I mean, I'm a pretty firm believer of kind of like, on one hand, death to the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I still like Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling's a fucking psycho. Like,
She's a grifter too. Let's be honest, she's a grifter.
I don't even know what a grifter is. Those don't
Grifter's
exist
someone
in
that just
Canada.
follows whatever is popular at the time.
Ah,
So
okay,
To
conservative,
make
Christian
money.
conservatives popular. They're gonna be wholesome, and that's how Harry Potter was early on. It was very wholesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And now that it's get your freak
Now
on.
J.K. Rowling's like, she's like, the wizards used to disappear their shit before plumbing. Yeah, which is an actual thing that she came up with.
I remember that
Bless
on
her soul.
Twitter. Didn't she retroactively make people gay on Twitter or something like
Yeah.
that?
Dumbledore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dumbledore.
Yeah. Sometimes I like message my LGBT friends and I was like, "How old were you when J.K. Rowling told you that you're gay?"
That's a pretty good one.
It's good. It's hilarious. If anybody's gonna try to cancel me, I am also LGBT, so cease. Anyway, so
They'll find
with
a
Therese,
reason. They'll find a way.
they'll find a way. Easily
They'll twist it in
cancelable.
whatever manner they
It's
see
time.
fit.
It's time to nuke your Twitter likes and your Twitter tweets. Just
Dude,
clean house.
I'm a bisexual dating a man. Like, that's the biggest crime in the world.
Oof.
Anyway,
You're
Yeah.
you're the ultimate grifter to the LGBT. Then at that point,
the term is bi-het, which is disgusting. I hate it.
a bi-het.
But yeah. But anyway, so one thing that myself as well, I really like to follow and like listen to people of ideologies that I personally disagree with, because I like to have a fully like encompassed thought process, being like, okay, well, this is why this person's coming this way. So I'm going to play devil's advocate that maybe Therese is also doing that, because she hasn't, to my knowledge, come out with any political beliefs.
Mhm.
I could be wrong. I could just be like,
her wife has. I mean, her wife has the. I mean, you want to talk about the terminology that is more reviled than anything. It's turf. That's people hate turfs.
oh, is her wife a
But-
turf?
From a old school feminist standpoint, I think turfs have I'm gonna cancel for this. I think they have a legitimate grievance with the new push that especially transgenderism has been having on
They
femininity.
have a lot of legitimate
And to
points.
say there aren't any predatory trans is an absolute disgrace to trans people
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. Because to say that people won't jump on a movement because it suits them Come on.
Well, I mean, so this is someone who, like, for myself personally, I'm a pretty strong trans supporter. Um, but also, like, and I had a conversation with someone who was very much just like, oh, well, if you let people transition, they are going to go to the bathroom, they're going to molest people. I mean, they're going to go to the bathroom anyway, then you shouldn't sell knives because knives stab people. But
Yep.
that also being
Exactly.
said,
You shouldn't sell
I,
cheeseburgers because they're going to give people heart attacks.
right. But I also
Clogged
live in
arteries.
Canada, and I don't know if you guys know about Jessica Yaniv, but that bitch
Oh,
be
yeah.
psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Didn't she get
and
arrested?
take it further.
Yeah, for the
this is
taser.
kind of the problem with a lot of the the LGBT kind of grandstanding or where they're almost that no trans people transition because they have some ill will. That no, zero people, right? Because it gives them that they have a special sense of humanity, that they are incapable of deviant behavior. Now, that's my issue with it.
Yeah, I mean, even
There
to
are
take
definitely transgenders. There are 100%. There are people that are transitioning because it's a fad, and to even say that will get you canceled. And Ari and
I've read
lengths and lengths about this.
I've read quite a few articles of people like doing where they did that and then they had to detransition because they realized that it wasn't really what they were wanting to do and they had to kind of go off that, and that's a bit tragic, but
It needs to be
I
called
think
out
there's
too. It needs to be called out is the thing, and we're so quick to like you can't call out. If there was a part, like, to me it'd be like if you're part of that group, you should be trying to get rid of the nonsense with it. I don't know. I'm probably coming off as a bigot here, so.
well, it's
I mean,
like for
everybody has
me-
their own opinion, right?
Well, like from my perspective, like I guess the only real issue I have with just the whole transgender like topic is just really related to sports, and this I
that's
haven't ran
one
into
where
this
I have an
problem
opinion
yet.
on. Yeah, is the sports
And
one. I definitely have opinions on that one.
because last year I was having our Division 1 athlete that graduated last year. We were having this argument about transgenders and specifically male to female transitioning competing in female sports, and that's kind of a hard thing that I have to like grasp is like if I'm coaching girls and it should be kind of equalized to where it's like you're only competing against biologically female like competitors, right? That's how I see it. But then this issue comes about, and it's like, what do you do about it? I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of like
if
in like UFC where like someone's training up to like 25 years of their life as a male, fighting against other males and just beating the shit out of them, and then they transition and like let's say they're transitioning for like 8-10 years or something. There's still 25 years of their life where there's just been pure testosterone and they've been training to fight other men, and then
let's take it even out of the biological aspect of physical power. So here's where I'm making an argument for Teresa's wife. What I've been able to gather is she's kind of old school as far as that her and Therese and people from her generation have paved the way for lesbians to be able to be accepted, that woman power, like legit, women can compete with men in I think she's a real estate agent. They kind of like my mom will talk about how she was the only girl in math and she got berated and like her to the point where like they were threatening her. They know she needed it. She was a distraction for all the boys. Why is she in these high math classes? Because and she's just taking away from all these guys' education. This is the crap they had to deal with. This is like
I mean, I had to deal with that in my high school. I was in an auto class, and guys used to make the who can pick up Jordan with the least amount of their body, like contests, and I got
Wow.
kicked out of the class.
Yeah, because you're the problem. So Teresa's wife has pioneered this whole has been able to finally make it so that women can be in these sorts of fields, and they can be thought of as equals, and where there isn't these big, gender discrimination. And then now it comes where people of the opposite sex now want to capitalize on that, and just transition to, again, this will make me, if I don't tiptoe around this, it makes me look like an awful person. But to try to say, like, I remember reading a lot of people like, no one would ever go through all of the pain and discomfort and social outcasts and social blah blah blah, unless they truly are, feeling this way. Like, BS. Humans will do anything when they feel like they can make a play at something, because that's kind of my
some advantage.
Yeah, some sort of advantage, and exploit some sort of exploitable option. And that's the only thing that I can find. Teresa,
didn't they make a South Park episode on that?
On the physical one they did, where Randy Savage was the transition, so that she could be, or that he could be strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Everyone should watch it. But anyway, this is the only like controversial points that I can find Therese Nielsen associated with, is that her wife holds some of these quote unquote turf beliefs, that there's a difference between the lesbians or females paving this way through male dominated fields, only to have it then where they have to just bend over backwards to these, call them males, call them females, that have just only recently, for less than a year, transition into it, and try to push them out of their sort of fields, or tell them they can have these issues. And to some of them, they do feel threatened. They feel threatened that there is, if we talk about like biological differences in physical strength, we can talk about biological differences in other areas too, that they actually especially lesbians, are starting to feel threatened of their spaces being, like, their identities
being removed, essentially,
not identity, even
or
in a state
like being made irrelevant, kind of.
Not even really, like not irrelevant, not that their spaces are being encroached on,
mm-hmm.
and to where they're not equal again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing that I can find with. And so a lot of this hatred towards Teresa is just guilty by association, because I haven't seen her personally harbor these beliefs. It's more on her wife's, which is, I find it so hilarious that the man decides to go after.
Yeah, but even then, that's not even close to being like really worth exiling someone over
it's
either.
Worth debating too. If nothing else, it's worth debating.
Mm-hmm.
Say that Teresa's wife is 100% wrong, just wrong on all of her beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that we have to completely silence and turn them into monsters because they are like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how transgenderism is maybe affecting femininity,
mm-hmm.
or affecting the spaces that a lot of the especially lesbians had to pioneer.
Or even so, like, even if you can't have that conversation, at least have the humility and the respect to let somebody else exist, even though they have a completely different opinion, even if they don't have a completely different opinion, even if they like stuff on Twitter that you don't like. I don't understand why people are just like, sorry, you can't make art for my game anymore because you hold personal opinions that I don't like wrong at all. And that's like the biggest problem, because it's just like, they're not doing anything. She wasn't like saying anything out loud, that from what I understand, she just liked stuff on Twitter. Like, that is some of the most beta shit ever to kick someone out of a group for. Is like, that is so fucking bereft of integrity, honestly.
What they hate more than anything, though, about Therese is not that she retweeted InfoWars, is not that or some Trump tweets, is that she had the audacity to stick with her partner that she's been married to, that may or may not hold these beliefs that they think are vile.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that kind of
how dare you not leave your partner because
Therese,
we don't like what they post.
There's more to a person, and especially she has her own reasons for loving this individual.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to a person than their, it's like they want Therese to distance herself from her wife over this stuff, which is disgusting.
Talking about inclusion, and they are doing the complete opposite, and it just boggles the mind sometimes.
Well, even going back to like people that are close to me that are, I mean, it's probably no surprise that I'm incredibly close to Arya, incredibly close to Zach. They're two of my best friends in the entire world. And those two have been thrown out of their little communities that they were involved in way before it became trendy. And whatnot. So it's just, so that's why I kind of have this whole fire in my belly, because I'm a hero for sure. I'm one of those persons that, you know, attack me all day long. I could care less. You can come at me. I have nothing to preserve. But you come after people that I'm close to, then you get the mama bear clause. I mean, that's kind of what the whole coach thing, where, you know, I've eviscerated friendships and relationships over not because of what they've done to me, but what they've done to one of my buddies.
Yeah, same. That's why I started this podcast, is because John, you, Coach, and I we're close. I mean, you helped us grow from zero, and then fucking John was just like, watch this. I'm going to fucking cast you over the cliff, and you're not going to know what the fuck's happening. It was like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to deal with that. I've watched him over the years turn into more and more of someone that I just dislike. But I mean, like, I can disagree with you and unfollow you on Twitter because I don't want to see what you post on Twitter. But I'll still respect you as a human being. But when you do shit like that, when you start throwing people under the bus over something as insignificant as association, that's just crossing the line in terms of decency.
That still infuriates me. It's just,
it bothers me
because it's
too.
like, it's wasted,
and it didn't even affect me.
It's wasted time. That podcast. Like, I had nothing to be honest. I really had nothing to gain from that podcast ever. None. Zero.
You were
like,
by far and away the largest member on there, right? Because
who was just out again? Like, last episode, I think we
we beat that to death. We talked about that for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But speaking,
I cut Jordan off again with
Yes.
So
I
apologize.
all good. Man speaking. What is it? There's like that term. Anyway.
Mansplaining.
Mansplaining.
Yeah.
Thanks for mansplaining that to me.
The most
You're
subscribers
welcome.
here. I think I should have the most time.
We just mansplained the shit out of you for the past couple hours.
All good. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not the most, like, I don't particularly follow a lot of, like, the Magic drama or any of that anymore. Like, a lot of the stuff that was brought up just now, I didn't particularly know about. I personally have a problem with TERFs. But, I mean, I'm a strong proponent of you can't change anybody's opinion by yelling it at them. So, I mean, not really my place to talk about the whole TERF issue.
Do all TERFs fit in the same neat box?
I would say so. I think, well, I think there's some TERFs that are worse than others. But I think, well, because is everyone here knowledgeable about what the acronym TERF actually stands for?
Trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Exclusionary.
That's where I'd like to make the argument with it, though, is like, to what point is exclusion? Because that's where a lot of people will, especially when you're attacking, Trace Nielsen on this one for being a TERF, is I don't think that her or even her wife's personal beliefs fall in that category as being exclusive.
Well, I think on paper, obviously this is just like a paper definition. Everybody is a different person of their own level of beliefs of stuff. But it's on paper that cisgender, not cisgender, people who are born as a woman who transition into a male are gender traitors. And then people who are born male and transition into being a woman will never actually be a woman. Now, that's on paper the definition. I'm sure someone's going to clip that out of context, as I'm saying that I hate TERFs, but that is, as the definition, the textbook explanation of what a TERF is. Now, yeah, like, maybe there's some people who are who believe that, like, trans people shouldn't be in sports. I frankly my favorite sport is blitzball. Like I don't know sports. Um, absolutely have no horse in that race.
Hmm.
Um, but like some of my best friends are like gender nonconforming, presenting. Um, the first dude that I ever fell in love with was a trans guy. My boyfriend's cis. Like as much as some of the people on the internet are like, "Oh, you have a deep voice. You have to be male to female." I am a cis woman, so obviously it's not necessarily my place to talk on trans issues because where I am right now, it's for the most part not really my place to talk about it. I'm not dating anybody trans. I'm not, whatever.
Hmm.
I have a lot of knowledge on hormone replacement therapy and how it affects the body just because I was like in love with this dude who was going through hormone replacement therapy while I was beta orbiting him. But it's 100% what it was. It was so pathetic. I was like, "Wow, you're so great," and he's like, "Yeah, cool, thanks." It was great, but
He was Cloud and you were Jesse.
oh, 100%. Oh, it was bad, but like,
What's that image? How big's that dick? Small. Leave me alone.
yeah, but like, I don't know. I personally just think like we on this may have different beliefs, but I think regardless of that, Therese is an artist. She draws pictures. If you like the pictures she draws, and her beliefs are so far against what you believe, then yeah, don't support her.
Hmm.
But if it's only like a little bit, like I'm like, J.K. Rowling's off her rocker. But dude, I'm out there reading that Harry Potter fan fiction. Like it's Chef's Kiss, Draco Malfoy, beautiful man. But like it's very hard for people. Like I'm really invested in the whole Onision and like Dobby Vanity case that have been going on separately. They're not one case. But like obviously nobody listens to Blood on the Dance Floor anymore. But like if I
God, that's a name I haven't thought of in like 10 years.
oh yeah, that dude's a straight up pedo.
Oh,
Um
gross.
yeah. But like let's pretend that band was good. Okay, yeah, I'm against people being a pedo, so I would stop supporting that band.
Hmm.
I don't know why anybody would support Blood on the Dance Floor anyway, but anyway.
You could use more
So,
extreme examples of separating art from the artist. I mean, like, you could just look at the paintings that Hitler created, and you can kind of compare apples to oranges like that. But at the same time,
yeah.
what Teresa's being accused for is so minuscule and so insignificant. Like, that's.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like for the most part, from what I've heard, I before this conversation didn't even know about whether or not her wife is a TERF.
Mm,
All I knew was she liked some tweets.
mm-hmm.
Like I follow the fighting game community and like people have been canceled for saying like the N-word in the past, which like that's worse than I like to tweet because that's someone actively doing something. Do you know how many tweets I accidentally like because I'm just like because I'm like I do the double screen on my phone because I'm watching like creepypastas on the top and then like Twitter on the bottom. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just like stuff by accident. Like obviously once is an accident, twice is a hobby. So I don't know.
50,000 times is an addiction.
Yeah. She just draw picture I like. She draw pretty lady with big abs. I like.
Exactly. So,
Yeah. That
I wanted to ask you about the other work that you do on the internet, because even though you don't make Magic the Gathering content actively, you do still work on Magic the Gathering content on the side, and
I
it's
do.
on a. Here's the thing. I was like, Turn One Thoughtseize. Who is that? They sound kind of familiar. Went on Twitter. They have me blocked. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not surprised because I was a bit of an asshole in the years
Shut your
past.
mouth on Twitter.
Exactly.
You're worse than I am.
Dude, I don't know how to stop, man. When I say people are addicted to Twitter, I'm calling myself out every single time.
Your
But
people.
yeah, I'm bitches. Bitches be addicted
Yeah.
to Twitter.
Yeah.
But what is this podcast that you work on?
It's a modern and pioneer podcast. I
Okay.
edit for them.
Okay, cool. How did
Yeah,
that
it's awesome.
how did that
I like
end up
it.
working out? Like, how did you get the gig?
I was just like, hey, does anybody need an editor? And then they DM'd me.
Oh, nice. I think I remember you posting that, like, that was like a
Yeah,
year
I think-
ago or something, wasn't it?
Less than a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Your concept of time is real bad, bro.
I guess so. How long
Yeah.
ago do you think it was? Like 6 months ago?
Like probably closer to 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, it's editing work. It's formats that I don't really play, so I'm just sort of like, yeah. Sometimes they say Commander, and I go Commander. And I'm like, that's my thing.
Have you learned anything from it while listening through? Like, do you like listen for like imperfections or anything like that, or?
Yeah, I listen for imperfections and then like content. And then they do their random card of the week, and I always just like look them up, and they're always like really stupid. But I mean, I also worked in an LGS, and I was the only one who would touch anything like Mirage or older, so I already saw the weird cards.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So how do you like working on these podcasts as opposed to like working on MTG content? Because is it like something like you still just wanted to be involved in the MTG community, just not like as you were before, or you just wanted to like work on a podcast?
Well, so it's mostly that I really enjoy the non like I enjoy the production of stuff. Like I like setting up the lights, I like setting up the cameras, all of that stuff. I love editing. Editing was my thing. I started off when I was like 9 making like Kingdom Hearts and Naruto like AMVs, like to Breaking Benjamin, and it was terrible.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. And then so like I love editing, and I went to school for like special effects makeup because I wanted to do stuff behind the camera. Like as much as I'm gonna sound like it's bullshit, like I hate being in front of the camera. Like if I could be someone's costume maker and like photo editor, I wouldn't cosplay anymore. If I could like purely do like video editing and stuff like that, I wouldn't be in front of a camera anymore. Like I love making stuff and being creative, but I also just like don't want to be the one who has the face in front of that. Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to hire Jordan for my channel. Like that's like I hate editing sometimes.
Dude,
It's
editing's
just
the worst.
I hate
Editing's my
too.
favorite.
That's why I recorded this in the way that it is overlays on OBS. It's just like the least amount of editing possible, super efficient, fucking done. After spending so long making in-depth deck text because I was an idiot and just like, I'm going to work fucking 14 hours on this video and burn myself out. It's just like, I don't ever want to open up Adobe again. I hate it.
I love it. It's
I
my
might
thing.
not be the largest Magic YouTuber to ever exist, but I am the largest, lowest tier effort
You're the OBS king.
YouTuber.
Hell yeah.
I'm the point and shoot king. Zero editing.
I love it. Well, because like my best friend, like 2 of my best friends, one's a professional seamstress and the other one is a professional photographer. And I'm the one who's like laying in front of the photographer, like on my back with like 15 chins, holding up 2 gels while like the pretty people are just in front of the camera. And I'm like, I'm so happy. It's been 18 hours and I haven't eaten yet. This is so good. Like that's the good shit, man.
That's fucking
Like,
hilarious.
My friend streamed Final Fantasy, and then I was like, "Do you want a highlight reel?" And Brie was like, "I streamed for 18 hours over 2 days," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll edit that." And she's like, "You're fucking psycho." Okay, I go to my friends' houses and do their dishes and like organize stuff for them. I love monotonous tasks.
You need to come to my house then. It's full of sourdough starter everywhere.
Oh my god,
I don't
sign
want
me
to
up.
clean it.
Are you one of
Sign me
those
up.
It's
types?
disgusting.
Are you making bread during your quarantine?
Well, no.
No.
I've been having an obsession with it. You've missed out a lot of my life here, Tasty. Where you been?
I've been
'Cause
knee
what's
deep in
your
that post
hobby
boy.
is- So, Magic and other games were my hobby. That was my. When you own a store and you deal with nerds, this becomes a job and you end up hating it. So you have to find something else to do with your life. So the story with pizza was, we eat a lot of pizza here. because nerds like pizza. Apparently, I guess there's nothing better than just ordering pizza. So
It's the
pizza
highest
pissed
addictive
me
product.
off
You get
last
all of your
time.
all of your food groups in one thing. Meat,
And we don't have a
cheese,
lot of
dairy,
selection
vegetables.
here. We have a local pizza joint that sucks. It's okay. It's okay. We have Pizza Hut, we have Papa Murphy's, and we have Little Caesars.
Mm.
So all those are terrible.
Oh yeah.
So the the pizza joint will delay things for like an hour sometimes. So we'll get cold pizza and they'll try to charge us for it. So really the only place we can order from is Pizza Hut. And they pissed me off for the last time with their disgusting, unedible stuff.
Don't
so
order the
when
pan
I
pizza.
get pissed off, I put on the short man syndrome, and I'm gonna do stuff myself. So I got into making pizza, and so then I got obsessed with it because I don't know how to not get obsessed with stuff. It's my kryptonite. It's the stupidest thing ever. Just get me sidetracked on something, and then I'll get completely engulfed in it. So I've been trying to perfect pizza now for like a year, to the point that I'm gonna make Zach build me a pizza oven. So yeah, no, but then I read that sourdough starter was better, so I had to try it, and then I couldn't be set on one sourdough. So I've tried every yeast and bread combo, and I've got it. It's such a mess. Sourdough's a mess. Dough is a mess. My
That's
entire
amazing.
kitchen. I hate to clean. I am a disgusting human being. Look at that.
I love it.
That is Zach. This is more Zach disgusting than me, but we're both disgusting. So
Literally earlier today, I bought contact paper and I was re-contact papering all of our like countertops because it just bothered me to look at.
That's hilarious.
I
wish I could be
thrive
that
in my
productive.
field. I have to make it a game. I have to play before I work. I have to get all my play out, and then maybe I can mow the lawn.
I'm kind of the opposite. I have to get all my work out first before I play. Otherwise,
Yeah,
if
I'm
I
with
try,
Tasty on that
if
one.
I try and play first, I feel like a gigantic pile of shit. And
Man.
Yeah.
so I got to get like, even if it's my day off, it's like I got to go on a walk or something. I got to do something that's not games
Work
or whatever.
First.
I
Work
wait
first,
until
play
my
later.
last towel, my last pair of socks, and then I do just this like marathon of laundry.
Dude, if I look
I
at my
can't get-
Switch for too long, I'm like,
I can't get-
Catholic lit.
I can't get away with that because Grace does the laundry like every 2 days, and then she'll throw a basket of clothes like in front of me or like at the bed's edge, and I don't put them away for like 4 days, and she'll oh, it's been there for like a week. It's been there for like 2 weeks. And, but she cleans the whole. I complain about that, but she like keeps this house like pristine, and she turned my bare house into like a home. Like that's like a woman's touch is like. Now the office she hasn't touched, obviously. I would take you on a tour in the office like at another time, but she has made the house.
Us guys are
like, awesome.
are content with just having like one or two posters in like a room. It's like
Yes.
that's fine, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Well, I didn't even have any wall art. Like everything was bare. Like I just had like a couch, like a table, like there's maybe like a plastic vase or whatever. And then like I hardly ever used my kitchen before me and Grace started dating, and now it's like since I've been doing this summertime and the whole quarantine stuff, I've been cooking basically like every day. And
Hell yeah.
I really didn't start cooking until she actually like I've cooked, but she used to be like a chef when she was working in high school, and she's taught me like so much. So
Cooking is like one of the best
like,
skills you can learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's been super helpful. She's been like helping me with like trying to make me a better like a cook basically. But yeah, ever since all this, I've cooked most days. Whenever she cooks, whatever I've cooked that week, she just like blows it out of the water and makes my meals like embarrassing. Like she's that good of a cook compared to me. It's stupid. It's stupid what she does.
It means you got a good teacher.
I don't get what's.
Bet she could make
Oh my
better
God,
war
like-
videos than you too.
Yeah, she probably can't. She's got she's more educated than I am, and she's got a master's degree. She's like she can talk about counseling for like days if she wanted to. And I'm just here.
I'll
I'm a
argue with
potato.
her.
So.
One of these days.
Oh, I know you'll argue with her. She'll argue right back. because she's got the master's degree and she's gonna tout that, and she will
Oh, that will get my
unload.
blood boiling quicker than anything. When people throw their
Yeah.
degrees, I've been to university. It's a waste of time and nobody knows anything. The higher up you go, the stupider the professors become.
I've gone to a D2 college to where like the student to teacher ratio was much lower. I honestly like try to like, with my kids, my seniors especially, like, there's nothing wrong with trade school, going into manufacturing, getting a job. But if you can't go to like a big university, there's nothing wrong with like a school like A&M Kingsville, or like, like San Antonio, like some of the San Antonio schools, or like some of the lower end schools, or like community college, like Del Mar here. Like, yeah, go to Del Mar. Like, it's cheap. Like, you could get 2 years worth of credit for like under $6,000. Like, I
thought that
do not push my kids.
From what I understood, the general consensus is like use community college to get all of your basic like core credits,
Yes.
and then use the university for
Absolutely.
for your niche stuff that you actually want to get the master's in or whatever.
I could talk about college, university stuff like Kevin could talk about counseling, like, because I think college, especially those bigger colleges, when you start out year one, I think it's a big racket, to be honest, especially like stuff like textbooks. Like, textbooks are
Don't get me started on this topic.
loaded and godly, but it's just a nightmare for kids. And a lot of times, like, the teachers, they tell you to get a book, and it's like sometimes they won't even use it, so you just waste that money. And it's like, my kids, like, I have a textbook for me, and I base the PowerPoints off what I use with the state, like the state textbook, or whatever the school district wants at the time. I'll base it off that. My kids never touch a textbook because I put most of the major stuff on PowerPoint, pretty pictures, all that stuff. My kids don't have to worry about all that. But the higher up you go, it's kind of a big racket. It's crazy how much universities are pulling from kids, and from FAFSA, like the federal government, and just all kinds of stuff. It's stupid. Like, I got away with maybe like 35, 40 grand in debt for going to a 4-year college at the D2 level. Had I gone to like UTSA like Zachary has, that would have easily doubled, because it's a pristine university. And it's like that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the recognition. You are paying for, oh, I went to USC, or I went to like Baylor, or I went to like TCU, or I went to like one of those bigger colleges. And it's like, no, you don't have to go to those bigger colleges. What is it going to say at the end of the road is what you got your degree in, and your employers maybe will look at your transcript, your grades, how well you did in class. That's it. Most people do not care where you came from. They just don't. Like,
especially in the H&A where everyone's got a college degree and mountains of debt. It's ruined the value of the degree, really.
It's saturation, to where now I'm telling my kids, like, if you have the chance, especially the era that I'm in, manufacturing and like the port are coming back into business with,
go get a job in like HVAC or something, or manufacturing or construction.
Come on, just
no,
have your kids start OnlyFans.
Well, the big thing in my area is the oil. Even though the gas prices are going kind of crap right now, the oil refineries, like, that's the thing that we are banking on hard, is oil refineries. And I know fossil fuels, everyone throws, oh, it's a fossil fuel. That's what we rely on. It's
a booming industry.
Kids can go out of high school right now and easily as like a working like like on the ground, boots on the ground, in the actual, like, doing all the dirty work, all the physical labor, and they could probably walk away with like anywhere, but depending on if you go Valero or Citgo, anywhere between like $60,000 and $80,000, no college education, and probably maybe like a test that's on the same level as like a sophomore test at high school. Like, it's like super basic math, super basic science, and kids could walk away with as much money as I can with like no degree at all. Now, if you do get a degree, you could go up to those higher positions and they pay significantly more. But if you're talking about like a job like the oil field, if you're just the bare bones bottom, like you could walk away with a pretty penny. I've had classmates that would go and work in the oil field for like 4 years, save all that money up, buy out their cars, their houses, and then go back to college, and they will pay every semester. They'll pay their tuition with the money they've saved up. Like,
God, that'd be the fucking dream.
Great. Well, it's a smart move, and it's very similar to what because I've had a lot of buddies that came from the oil field to class. I've had a lot of friends that came from the army or from the military and go GI Bill, and it's it's a very similar path to like pay off, get your money, pay it off, so you don't have to pay like that $40,000 in interest over that amount of time. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it
people sure don't know how to math. Insane, but oil fields aside, and insane amounts of money that you can make outside of college because people are sold on lies.
Yep.
And as sad as that is, we are running very close to 3 hours. And there's also one more thing that I wanted to talk with you about, Jordan, before we let you go for the night. You brought up your cosplay quite a few times. Would you mind divulging a little bit more of that for everyone else?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, what to say?
I mean, like you said, you started
in, like,
before Magic, right?
Oh, I started in like middle school. Yeah. Yeah, it was just always like a fun thing to do. People are always like, when are you gonna do Magic cosplay? And I'm like, when is there a Magic character that hasn't been done 5,000 times?
That's very true.
The Magic cosplayers are very good. Like, the craftsmanship on them are so fantastic. But like, everybody's done Liliana, and Liliana's the only one to do.
Would there be like a dream character, like even if it's not like a female, just like whoever, if money was no object and you could get access to any material and build whatever you want, who would you cosplay as?
In Magic or in general?
Both.
Ooh. In Magic, probably like Shieldred.
Ooh, that's sick.
I
like that. That Phyrexian life.
Crazy spider bitch. And then I mean, I'm building Fran from Final Fantasy 12 right now, which has always been a dream.
Bunny ears one, right?
Yeah, and then Baby Doll from Sucker Punch is actually like the dream costume. I commissioned a girl to make it for me, and then she screwed me out of the money, and then embezzled $100,000 from her parents, and then got a boob job with them. So,
fuck. What a piece of shit!
Oh wow.
Yeah,
she's Tifa. Sorry.
I cosplay Tifa. I can send you a good link for a costume.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, girl.
So where can people find you on the internet? Where are you most active?
I'm mostly on Twitter, crying about JoJo, which is twitter.com/s1ck1y, because some asshole keeps stealing sick1y on all the socials. And then on Instagram, I'm not really active, but I'm pulling up my Instagram because I'm like, I don't know what my username is. Sickly, but the L is a 1, so.
Okay, that's what I have you displayed on this podcast as, is the L is a 1.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then the Turn 1 Thoughtseize podcast you work on as well. Have you ever been on there? Or you're just strictly behind the scenes? Okay, but you do work on them, and where can people find that? They
are on Twitter, T1 Thougeize, and then turn1thoughtseize.com. And then they have a whole bunch of other affiliate links. If you go to turn1thoughtseize.com, you can get all of their link stuff.
Awesome. And then you said your YouTube account is pretty much defunct at this point, but do you have any more plans of like making YouTube content of like any type ever again?
I really want to. Like, I have a whole bunch of ideas, but I'm the
Bazaar.
I mean,
saying,
Yeah. I'm scared of the backlash of the comeback being like, hey boss. Like it'd be like Filthy Frank coming back at this point. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah. I have a lot of ideas because I really like to create and do stuff like that, but maybe let's find out.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a journey. In fact, I didn't think I'd be doing this podcast. I mean, like, to be fair, I had been always been wanting to redo a podcast type thing again. Because I mean, like,
Mhm.
Magic is still always going to be a part of my life, whether or not I want to talk about the game. But even if I don't want to talk about the game, at least talk about interesting people in the community in the game that I
Right?
like talking to. So, thank you
Yeah, like
very
I
much.
still
I'm
have
so glad I'm
6
the
commander decks.
catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tell us. That was another thing I wanted to ask you one more time before we go. Your commander deck, the one that you had foiled out, is that the same Liliana one that you showcased on your channel all those years ago?
It is. The deck list's updated, but for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
That's my baby.
What's it?
My-
Liliana?
It's Flippy girl.
What's it? Is it just built?
Origins.
Is it built around the character, or is there like a certain theme to it?
It's Look Ma No Hands.
Look, ma, no hands. Is this everyone's discarding everything?
It's discard and taxes.
Oh, sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
How brutal
Good.
is it on like a scale of like 1 to 10?
So when I went to the PPR, I beat Sam and Adam turn 4 on
Oh,
a non
sick.
CDH deck.
Sick.
It was a bad
How
time.
did you end up doing that?
I got like Necropotence, Dark Ritual, a whole bunch of other really good cards in like turn 1 hand. So I turn 1 Necropotence, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got really dirty at that point. I have like a infinite. It's like a reassembling skeleton, Phyrexian altar combo with like blood pet and all that good shit.
And you just locked him out of the game.
Yeah. And then they were just like, I don't like that. And then they both like got up and left, and I was like, yeah, I deserve that.
That was on stream.
No.
Phyrexian Altar still leading Commander is beyond me.
Good
Don't
card,
even
man.
start
Good
on
card.
Commander.
That's for another day. It's 2:30 in the morning here.
Oh shit, we're keeping you up
man.
way late. Yeah, it's 11:30 over here. Fucking.
Yeah.
It's 1:30 for me here.
All right, well, I guess I don't want to keep you up any longer.
Yeah.
All of
This
us
was fun
got-
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great. Got to have you on again sometime soon. And got to shoot the shit more. Got to talk more
Hell
about
yeah, dude.
JoJo's. I'm going to watch that. A girlfriend has
Okay.
been bothering me to watch that, so we're probably going to get started on that. We're going to watch
It's
Blade
so
Runner
stupid.
this weekend, but we'll probably go into JoJo's. I want to start season 1 because, I mean, I've seen the memes. The memes are great. I've even made a couple shitposting videos with JoJo references, but I still got to watch it. So I'll let you
It's
know.
so good. Yeah.
The
Keep
next
me
time-
updated on the JoJo shit posts.
The next time you're on,
Yeah,
we'll
I'll
just
probably
gush
watch
about
it tomorrow.
JoJo for like 3 hours. It'll be great.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yes, you
Yeah,
will.
I didn't expect you to.
It'll be required.
Yeah.
Of you.
I'll watch it while
It'll
I'm
be
working.
like a book club.
Yeah, just
I'll
put
be
it,
like, so tell me
So,
about
how
how
was the first
ACDC. Yeah.
just
Dude,
keep.
there's a character named ACDC. He's so good.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Fucking
He's
wild
a-
show.
He's a himbo. ACDC is a himbo.
Aren't all the characters in that show himbos? They look like
kinda.
it.
Yeah, there's a lot of himbos.
Himbo
But
culture.
yes.
All
love
right. Well, that'll be episode 2 of the Multiverse Podcast. Thank you again, Jordan, for joining us.
Anytime.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
Kevin.
welcome, buddy.
No?
Oh, I'm so
No,
sick
no
of
response.
Oh, okay, cool. Fuck me, I
Yes.
guess, then. Thanks for coming on. And even though you leave me on red and I have to call you into the stream just to make sure that you're going to join us.
The meet. Has
I
to be
was
called
doing a
into the
rant
meeting.
video. I was trying to do the. I don't know.
Oh, were
I
you?
feel productive.
Did you end up uploading it, or are you going to, like, upload
Yeah,
it?
and it's gonna get 10,000 views again, and I'm gonna hate my life because YouTube sucks because all it wants is drama, and so I'm just gonna give drama.
Fuck yeah. And so the cycle continues. Well,
And then
Oh, yeah.
people can comment on my video that, oh, I hate the direction you're going in this. I'm like, okay, you never commented, you never shared, you never. Oh, all of a sudden you're commenting and sharing and liking on something you hate.
Isn't it great? All right, and then finally, I'm TastySnackies, and thank you all for watching. Goodbye.